Just open YouTube.
All right. And it looks like we're live. All right. Perfect. Going to my thing here. Perfect. All right. What's up? Hello, everybody. We are live. It is Sunday, and today is kind of like an open mic style of thing where we talk about games and movies. And the gameplay in the background is like my first few hours of Hogwarts Legacy. And just by looking at the capture of the gameplay footage, it's like, holy crap, Hogwarts Legacy looks amazing. And of course, I've got with me Laura. Say hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
And RMD may visit us. He's a busy man, so he's got a different kind of schedule. So he may visit. I can't wait for him to talk about Cocaine Bear and all that other stuff because I'm looking forward to that because he's seen it and he's seen Scream 6. And of course, we're going to be talking about games as usual. Now, just before getting on, I want to talk about a few tweets that I've seen. So Laura, as you know, I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan. And Ed Boon is known to be kind of a Twitter troll / mastermind, but respectfully so. And he put on a tweet recently that says, only Mortal Kombat fans, which one of these 4 modes would you like to see return the most? And Conquest mode won the majority vote. And Conquest mode back in the day when they had it was kind of like an open world or a semi-open world RPG style game that was like included as an extra mode into the game apart from the fighting game. So when he puts up a tweet like that, do you think he's possibly hinting at something without hinting at something?
I think so. I don't see why. Well, I mean, unless he's just trolling. I don't know.
Well, even when he trolls, there's a reason behind it. There's like another subliminal message behind the trolls. So, because when you know, there's even times where he's gone on and he's like, okay, like he'll go on for 30 minutes and he's like, okay, ask me anything, and then he'll get a plethora of questions and he'll answer them responsibly, and you know, he'll be honest about them, and he'll also say, sorry, can't answer that one yet. So, or he'll say things like, oh, this is possible, this has a such and such chance, or this does not have such and such chance. But like, for instance, remember when I talked about the leak?
Yes.
Well, no, I'm sorry, not the leak. The fact that it got like confirmed, but it wasn't supposed to be like official. It was that conference call. Remember that?
Yes.
So when later that day, Ed Boon went on Twitter and said, "Hey, so what do you guys think about the confirmation of Injustice 3?" So Mortal Kombat 12 was confirmed through that call, but with his trolly self, he was like, "Hey, what do you guys think of the Injustice 3 announcement? Did you guys hear about that?"
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the matter?
I'm hoping because, well, I'm sorry, I'm so distracted right now. Let me kick my cat out of the room because he is looking like he wants to get on my monitor. Hold on just a second. Kick you out? I don't know. Maybe he wants to play Elder Scrolls. I don't know.
That's funny.
There we go. I know. It's actually really not funny because he like putting his paw on my monitor and I'm like, no. I want to start screaming, but we're on the podcast. If somebody has their headphones on, I don't want to like burst their eardrum. No, it's something I really would look forward to, honestly.
Would you say that you're the kind of person that it gets just as much joy, if not if not more, by watching games as opposed to playing them?
Yeah, I am. I'm a big watcher. Yeah. Because when I was younger, you know, we would rotate, me and my friends. I was a tomboy, so I was like one of 2 girls in a room full of guys. as we like would rotate through the games. So yeah, definitely. I'm a big watcher. Yeah.
Okay. Um. So okay. So watching a game like that, that would be open world or something like that with a story behind it, is appealing to you. I think a lot of people are like you as well, because there's like even people that game and love to game like are still kind of watchers. Like streaming right now is big. You know, a lot of people watch streams and everything like that. So it's a really big deal for these games to have not only longevity but a good story and everything else. Uh, were you a fan of also watching retro games, or are you just more of a watcher like recently because the games have become a lot more sophisticated now?
Um, no, well, I watch retro style games, and I do end up watching retro games if like certain people start playing them. Um, like I watched Undertale, and I did end up playing Undertale. Um, but yeah, yeah, old school games, pixelated games, mostly for the story, the graphics. Um, I do like first person shooters. Um, I do like to see like the scores. I like to see the different backgrounds. Um, but it really depends. It depends on the player. Um, I don't know. It depends on a lot of things, honestly. Sometimes I know them in real life. So,
Okay. So, are you a Harry Potter fan?
oh yeah, I definitely branded for life. I have a Harry Potter tattoo. So yeah.
Are you have you taken that online questionnaire that tells you of which class you're in?
Oh yeah, Slytherin.
You're a Slytherin, huh?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I told you, but I took that test too months ago.
Oh yeah, you're a Ravenclaw, aren't you?
I am.
Some Marty pants.
Um. So, uh, now, as far as besides what you see here in the current background, have you seen Hogwarts? Have you seen a good amount of Hogwarts Legacy gameplay?
Not yet. I've been trying to save it for like sometimes I save up gameplays for when I have time. Um, like when I have downtime.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm working on a book of illustrations for a poet that I'm friends with, and that's going really fast right now. So I don't want to lose my momentum, but yeah, sometimes I'll save up gameplays for when I have
How many hours of the day would you say that how many hours of the day would you say that takes up?
oh, what the illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right now maybe like 5 hours out of the day because I take breaks
Okay.
and I do web design um and marketing stuff.
Yeah, in terms of all that stuff you do, your art, your illustrations, all that, like how many hours out of the day would you say that encompasses?
Oh, it's like an 8 hour day.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
How many days a week do you usually do that for?
I try to do it 4 days a week. I try to give myself 3 days off because I do like self-help classes and stuff like that. So,
Okay. Now we're gonna change. We're gonna change. We're gonna turn. And we're gonna make a left-hand turn here. And um, so obviously you're a big horror movie fan. The only horror films that I enjoy are like like a few of the slashers, like your Friday the 13th and stuff like that, like the ones that aren't necessarily always meant to be taken seriously. Like
mhm.
I don't typically watch too many horror movies. Um, but with that being said, What what recent horror movie would you say took you by surprise of how good it was?
Um, there is this movie called Antebellum, and it's got Janelle Monáe, I believe, and Evan Rachel
Mm-hmm.
Woods, and it's just it's very surreal. At first, it takes place on a plantation in the South, and you think it's like a recreation, but this woman is like trapped on the plantation and she can't leave, but it becomes apparent that it's like modern day, and it's just like totally fucked up.
Okay.
um yeah, it evolves. It's almost like an M. Night Shyamalan film, but like very topical. um I guess, I don't know, it just like it really it really messed me up for a couple days.
Okay. So, all right. What about what about comedy? Like who? Like what is your?
Ah,
Okay, let's say okay. Let's go. Let's rewind back to older times, and we'll kind of move on forward to new times. Rodney Dangerfield. Yes. No.
uh, I'm gonna say yes. Yeah, he's beloved for sure.
Eddie Murphy. Yes or no?
Oh yeah, totally.
Chris Farley. Yes or no?
Oh, of course, love him, miss him.
Adam Sandler. Yes or no?
I like Saturday Night Live times, yes. What he's doing now, I don't know. I
Would
just
would you say that he? Would you say if you look at the totality of his career, would you say that he's overrated, or would you just say he's I mean,
like I
because
think he's talented for sure. It's just that like I saw this one movie, Rare Gems, I think it's called,
mm-hmm.
and it's like a serious role for him, but the pace of the movie,
What's
like
up,
it just
Sky
gave
Zone?
me
Welcome back.
anxiety.
Yeah, he did a drama movie, and apparently he was really good in it.
It was really good, but like mood of the movie just gave me so much anxiety. Like,
Okay, how about um what's that called? Okay, so in your opinion, what's Adam Sandler's funniest movie?
The Wedding Singer,
The Wedding Singer is yeah, The Wedding Singer is up there. I think The Wedding Singer is in anybody's top three when it comes to Adam Sandler films.
pretty solid.
All right. For him, Sky Zone says click had the best like premise, like to where you have a remote control, a remote controller, and you could do what you want. Yeah, like I like the premise of it. It got pretty depressing in the end, but um, other than that, Click was actually really like the premise of that movie was really good.
True. Yeah.
Um, so let's see what else. There was something specific that I wanted to get into, but I lost my train of thought. Um, okay,
Comedy.
okay, so um, Jim Carrey, yes or no?
Oh yeah, Jim Carrey.
All right,
Love him. Love his serious roles too. There's a movie called Sunshine on the
Eternal Shot,
Spotless Mind.
Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And there's scenes that take place in Montauk, New York. And yeah, it is very very interesting film.
Yeah, of
Very
course. It's from New
interesting
York.
role for him.
Laura's from New York, so of course that's gonna be some. Sky Zone, where are you from, man? Did you say Sky Zone? Did you say you're from Ohio, or am I just getting you mixed up with somebody else, maybe from work or something? I don't know.
Okay.
No, originally from California. Ah, okay. California is an expensive place to live right now. Live in Arkansas.
Oh yes, he
Gotcha.
lives in Arkansas. Yes, we were talking about that the other day because
Oh,
I had a
okay.
friend. I
I
had a
was
friend
getting.
from
I must have been
Pakistan.
getting laundry, or else I would have remembered.
Yeah, I had a friend who pronounced it Arkansas.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Gotcha. When are they gonna make another Friday the 13th movie? I'm still waiting on that.
I know, right? That's a missed opportunity right there.
Now I was also watching some retrospective videos. Retrospective videos are awesome, especially on YouTube. And I don't know what it is, but there's just something about some specific old school, well, not old school games, like specific franchises within, like, let's say PlayStation, to name one, that originated on PlayStation, obviously. And obviously, if Xbox buys Activision Blizzard, which they probably will, like if it goes through, which it probably will, um, those franchises are going to come to Microsoft and to Game Pass. So I'm thinking, like, what is it about games like Crash and Spyro that always make you want to come back, if not just to watch them? I can't fully wrap my head around about what it is about those games. However, with that being said, I really hope that they end up making a brand new Spyro and just making it a complete open world experience. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't I
yeah.
can't I can't explain it. Like the original, the OG PlayStation games and the PlayStation 2 games, to name a few. I mean, those are amazing. Like,
I think it's the gameplay. I think it's like the simplicity of collecting things and also the colors, primary and secondary
yeah,
colors.
it is a
Um
nice colorful game, especially the remastered versions of those games. It is
yeah.
definitely colorful. Um, so Sky Zone, what is the hardest game you've ever played? We talked about this at some time. I would like them to release that Suicide Squad Justice League. Well, we don't know yet. Well, the thing is, like, I think it's been delayed because of the backlash that they got.
Mhm.
Because everybody was not happy that it was like Crackdown. Dark Souls games are the hardest. Okay, I asked the same thing to a friend of mine, Half Ton Hammer, and he said, I think he said Dark Souls, or actually, you know what? I'm gonna look at my text messages because I think it was the last thing I asked him. Um, I am going to. Let me see here. Where is he? Gotta scroll down here. If I can find him. There he is. Okay, let's. Uh, uh, he also wants to do a dual com with me, and I'm all about it. Okay, so Bloodborne, Demon Souls, and Sekiro are his top three. And he
Mhm.
also said Soulsborne games are stupid hard. LOL. So yeah, so because I asked him what's the hardest game you've ever played, and hold on, I got. Uh, why did it move all by itself? My goodness, now I have to find it again. Okay, there we go. He said I would have to say Bloodborne just off the top of my head, or possibly Demon Souls Remastered. Yeah, I've
Mm.
played. I still haven't played. I mean, I've gotten past the first part of the first boss. I'm good with the parries, but when he turns into his second form and you got to fight him all over again and you have to play defensively, that's where I keep getting fucked up. But yes, but I like, see, that's the thing. I like hard games as long as they reward you properly, and as long as they make you keep coming back, as long as they strike that, as long as they properly find that fine line to where it's like, okay, the game is hard, but at the same time it's so rewarding and so satisfying to get, from point A to point B, or to beat this guy or to beat that guy.
Mm.
That's, I think that's one of the things that just, even though Ninja Gaiden was a little bit more basic than a game like Wo Long, um, I really, I really like enjoyed the challenge of that game.
Right.
The Messia,
Yeah, it's a challenge. Yeah.
I don't know what the Messia is, but eventually I have to get into, these games. I actually own Elden Ring. And I have it on the PC. Obviously, I've got Wo Long because I've got Game Pass. So I mean, there's just so many games. It's like sometimes the mood just strikes to play something different, and then sometimes the mood is like, okay, let's grind this shit. So, and the thing is, like with like this game here, like the Harry Potter, you have to get a good amount into the game before you can start to truly explore the open world. So I'm kind of like
Right.
waiting. I'm waiting for that because I just want to explore and find shit and just do side
Mm.
quests and anything else. A Souls-like game based off of the Plague. Chances are FromSoft is going to do something with that sooner or later. Like seriously. Like these guys, see the thing is like you give creative people like a good high budget and some time, they can create something incredible for you. That's one of the reasons why usually games like, let's say, Grand Theft Auto usually succeed, because they're given that amount of time that they specifically need in order to complete their vision. But you also got to give them freedom, and that's the problem. Some companies, they're just not given enough freedom because people are because they think they just know better than the creators or something along. And so um, it's it's just one of those things. You can only do so much. And one thing I want to say, like I also want to talk about first person shooters here for a minute. Like obviously the way Cyberpunk launched is sad, because that game could have been amazing. I mean, right now apparently is much better, obviously, now since it's been um but like I think that's what Starfield is trying to do.
Mm.
Like Starfield is trying to do that because it's, first of all, it's a first person shooter game, right? So, and it's going to be like, if it has like the depth of, like, let's say a Grand Theft Auto, or the depth of an Elden Ring, and a big open world like that, and the freedom to do whatever you want when you want it. And the thing is, it also has to be fun. That's another thing. They finally fixed it. They hired people just for them to fix it. Really? 2077 GTA, lol.
Duh.
At this point, you know what? At this point, they could do it if they wanted to. They can legitimately do it if they wanted to. Um, I think. I think here's the thing. Optimistically speaking, I think we're on the verge of having like some of the best types of games ever. And it also depends on what genre of game you play and stuff like that. But if you step away from multiplayer, if you don't think about multiplayer games, and you're thinking about games that are like PvE, like let's say Destiny, for instance, right? Like PvE, where it's player versus everything, and not necessarily a multiplayer game, to where you can co-op and just play against the AI, against all these different types of enemies and levels, and figuring shit out together, and getting from point A to point B, and being
Mm-hmm.
rewarded handsomely for it, and the game giving you a reason to grind and such and such. Like we've certainly come a long way, in that aspect. I think single player games, I think right now this is the chance for single player games to really shine, because of everything that's going on in multiplayer games, unfortunately. um it's time for single player game. This is the time for single player games to shine. And that's the
Yeah.
thing about this game here, Hogwarts Legacy. It's like it's the ultimate single player game. I like, the experience is what counts more than anything else, in my opinion. So a game that gives us the experience, like I was saying this the other day, like like if you're playing a Mario game, it doesn't really matter if you die, right? Because it's all about the
Yeah.
experience of playing through Mario. Like that game, like Mario Odyssey, that game is much longer than most Mario games, if not all of them, right? So there's a shit ton to do in that game, and they've made it to where if you die, it's like no big deal. You just continue where you left off, and you just keep going, and you just experience everything, and you try to find everything there is to find, and explore all the worlds and stuff. So there were some rumors of a Red Dead Redemption 2 getting 60 FPS ported to console. I hope so. I'm
Hmm.
actually surprised Red Dead 2 is not 60 FPS, but at the same time, it's a huge game. But yeah, I would not be surprised if those rumors were true. Um, because Red Dead Redemption 2, even though I haven't played it, I did play the first one, a decent amount of the first one, and I know how special those games are. Red Dead 1 and Red Dead 2 are special. They're long, full of content, good storytelling, good looking games. Uh, and all for it to be missing is 60 FPS. Absolutely. I mean, this game here, you're seeing it at 1080 60 in the background, and it looks great. You know, so um, have you played Undead Nightmare? I'm thinking. No, I didn't. I know what you mean. No, I did not.
I'm just watching the gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, when a game is just as fun to watch as it is to play, you know you've got a good one on your hands. Like,
Mm.
especially if you enjoy watching the player play it, like a certain player. So, but that's me. And like, there's a part of me that like, okay, like Mario, for instance, like you take a game that has simple platforming like Mario,
Right.
or a Crash or a Spyro, and you make that thing open world and you give it like a shit ton to do. You give the player a shit ton to do, and you give the player more abilities and shit like that. It's like, dude, I'll always believe, like, I love graphics just as anybody else. Like I love a good looking game. I mean, granted, the game itself doesn't have to be like the best looking game ever in order for me to be happy, but um I mean, if a game looks at least as good as a Spyro remastered or a Crash remastered, I'm happy. So uh I would just want that
R&D.
gameplay. I mean, that's also why another reason I'm looking forward to Redfall. Skyzone, I know you're looking forward to Redfall. What were you going to say, Laura?
Oh, I just said RMD.
Is he here?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. He'll eventually get his mic in and all that good stuff. So we've got all three hosts on tonight. I love it. Plus Skyzone is in the chat as well, so that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So,
Hmm.
um, but like I was saying, like I would love for something like that. Like sometimes I have these fantasies to where I'm in charge of like the team that makes Spyro, and I'm like, this is what we're gonna do, you know. So Sky Zone Gaming, I feel like for Souls games, you have to learn the boss attacks and how to parry and dodge consistently, even when you first play the game. Yes, that's part of the what's it called? That's part of the learning process and the curve. Like like there's a saying that Souls players say, according to a retro video that I've seen, and I've been listening and watching to a lot of retrospective videos lately, and I love it. Um, so let's say you play a Souls game for the first time and you're getting your butt whooped. Said you're not bad, you're just beginning. That's what they say. It's like you're not bad, you're just beginning, because
Yeah.
when you play it more and you start figuring things out, you get better. See, that's the thing. Like multiplayer shooters right now are like some multiplayer shooters are so rigged that no matter what you do, you'll never reap the rewards of getting better. So, as a matter of fact, you're punished for
Yeah.
it. So, with single player games, right? Like games that are tough, like a Bloodborne or a Souls game, any typical Souls game, if you get better, the game becomes easier, but like obviously it's not a walk in the park all the time, but the game becomes easier and it's more engaging and it's rewarding. Like when you finally beat that boss, it's rewarding, and then you get rewarded for it. You get some gear that allows you to upgrade your shit, or maybe a weapon that enhances the experience whenever you're not fighting the boss or whenever you're not getting your ass handed to you. And of course, it gives you the choice to explore if you want to. Like that's one of the beautiful things. Like I think choice is one of the best things you can give a player in any game.
Yes. Yes,
Like
definitely.
give them
I agree.
choice. You know, if you give them choice, they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. And they're gonna come back for more. And when you give a player choice, they are likely going to play that game more than once. It's like, okay, now I played it using this class, so it's like, okay, let me play it using this class. And when you and if you implement certain things in the game that limits the player, you're taking that choice away, which ultimately can hurt your game in the long run. So,
Hmm.
in my opinion, so I like choice in a game. That's what made Call of Duty multiplayer so good in the first place.
Mm, right. Yeah,
So
I'm just watching the gameplay. Yeah.
it's a good looking game, isn't it?
Yeah, this is really cool. Yeah.
They literally they captured the magic of what Hogwarts looks like and how big it is. Like when you explore, like as you watch it, you'll see like when I get into the map and stuff like that, and when I and the different places you can explore. And I haven't even unlocked the world map. That's just the Hogwarts castle. There's like a world map. It's like the entire island or whatever it is.
Yeah, because Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff common rooms we don't really get to see, so this is really interesting.
Yeah, you get to see it in this, and I haven't, and I only played like a couple of hours, so you get to see it. Like you get to see
Hmm.
some shit. So it's like, damn. And you can literally like,
Yeah.
and if you stop to look at any one of the pictures on the wall, they move. They like
Yeah, yeah.
like with every picture, they didn't miss a beat, man.
Hmm.
They didn't miss a beat in this film. I mean, in this game. So,
Yeah.
um, and bravo to them. Kudos to them.
Hmm. Very interesting.
Yes, it is. Like it's great looking game. But but I think that there's a chance that a lot of franchises are going to get. There's a possibility that some franchises might get a different type of like let's say there was a game that was a first person shooter and then all of a sudden they turn it into something else for the sake of change, or maybe because they have a different vision for a game in order to make it this or that or whatever. Because a lot of RPG games are third person, to my knowledge.
Mm.
They're
Right.
not first person. I mean, some of them are, but I think the majority of them are first person. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see where some games will go. So, like with the tease that the possible tease that Ed Boon put out in his Twitter poll that I mentioned, I'm telling you,
Hmm.
conquest mode. Like if conquest mode makes a return, that is likely the game mode that I'm going to play first. And yeah, I mean, and that's coming from a person that typically isn't into RPGs. Skyzone, what were you
Right.
saying? What were you trying to say, my friend? I mean,
Oh, I don't know. I think the little arrow, he was just like reiterating
yeah,
what he was saying.
yeah, probably it could be.
Mm.
But I love the fact that games nowadays, because I come from an era. Laura and I come from an era where games, like, granted, because we weren't as good at them, it would take us a long time to beat, depending on the game and all that. But like, if you're looking at the old school retro games on the Genesis or the Super Nintendo and all that kind of stuff, those games were shorter than what we're getting today. So I like the
Mm.
fact that games are getting longer, especially since they're costing more. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the thing is, like, you get a game like this that will keep you busy for like hours and hours and hours, or a game like Elden Ring that'll keep you busy for hours and hours and hours. I think that's good. And if there's people out there that are not like that are like below average gamer or average gamer, it'll take quite a while for those guys to get through that game. It's like if they spend a weekend playing it, it'll still take them a while as opposed to playing every single day. Because
Oh,
not everybody's gonna grind like some of the, above average gamers, to where they'll spend an average of anywhere from 4 to 6 hours a day, and then even more time on the weekends in order to grind a game out. Not everybody's gonna do that, but that's okay though.
mm-hmm.
That's perfectly fine. So as for the Souls games, I hate it when mods exist for those games, especially God mode and unlimited runes. It ruin the experience. Yeah, that's true. Like, but yeah, there's always mods and stuff like that ruins the experience. But at the same time, for single player games, every player that plays has a choice. So if they don't want to have mods, or if they want to have less mods and stuff like that, they can do that. That's what that's what we were talking about earlier this weekend, is the fact that there's choice is beautiful, and we love choice. You give a gamer choice, we're all about it.
Yep. Definitely.
But I don't but one thing I do not want and do not believe is that I don't want there to be cheats and stuff.
I think
So
YouTube filtered the other same topic above the arrow. Oh.
yeah, no surprise there probably. But I think games have to have that learning curve. I think it's healthy when a player struggles in the beginning.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only way you really learn, you know.
Yeah. And it makes the game that much better. It's like, yeah, I earned this, or yeah, I got through this. I mean, like, for instance, like, just remember the first time you've ever played a game on hard mode, and
Oh yeah.
you beat it. Just remember that feeling you get for the first time,
Oh yeah.
you know?
I still get that feeling every time I beat Tetris. Like
Yeah, I mean, it's regardless of what game it is. It could be Tetris. It could be anything. Like, any simple game can be made harder. Like,
yeah.
obviously there's the difficulty settings, but then there's other things that gamers do nowadays. Like, I am still in awe of what some gamers do. Like,
Mhm.
and these include young kids. Like, we're talking like 12, 13, 14 years old kids that are
Oh,
doing
I know.
incredible things.
I
I'm like,
know.
holy shit! I thought I was good when I was a kid, and I was. But this generation, in terms of single player shit, oh my gosh! I'm looking at it and I'm like, holy hell! And the thing is, also growing up in the martial arts field, I know what kids are capable of learning and how good they're capable of getting at things.
Yeah.
And even more proof, if you have you seen some of these cooking shows that Gordon Ramsay does, like with some of these kids that are like upcoming chefs and
Yeah.
shit.
Yes, they're my favorite with the
I
little
mean, are you
kids.
kidding me? These kids are incredible.
They're making macarons. I I struggle with them. I can't make macaron
Yeah,
like on the fly with no
like
recipe.
like these kids are incredible, man. I mean, when it's their sponge. I mean, seriously, I saw a little kid do MMA. LOL. Yeah, no, kids are very capable, dude. And then once they get to a certain size and to a certain level of maturity, it's like, look out. So let me explain to you this way. This is like Gracie Jiu Jitsu, which is basically Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. But anyway, Gracie Jiu Jitsu. Um, the second belt in the art is blue. But if you're below the age of 16, no matter how much experience you have under your belt, no matter how many classes you've taken, no matter how good you are, you don't earn your blue belt until you're at least 16. And that's a big thing because they want a certain level of maturity. However, it won't take you nearly as long to get all the way up to black because you've already put in the time and the experience previously, and you've learned the techniques uh, out of all those years. You just didn't get promoted to beyond blue. So typically, if a kid starts like at age 4 to 6 doing Gracie Jiu Jitsu, and let's say they're 16 and they're still a blue belt, by the time they're 18, they're going to be black belt. Big time, like no doubt about it. They will likely by age 17 already have the skills of a black belt, but they just need to, you know, do the rest. So like kids are not to be underestimated. I taught kids for over 7.5 years, and I can tell you they are not to be underestimated. They can learn really quickly. They can adapt very quickly. They're also very receptive. Most kids are very receptive. I mean, sure, you're gonna have your kids that are hard headed, of course, but because they're kids, they're very receptive. They're more willing and able to listen than compared to adults in certain ways. Because adults, we're kind of, we already have the mindset of like, oh, we're an adult, we can do whatever we want. But kids are like, well, we're kids, we can't do whatever we want. So therefore, it kind of opens them up to the possibility, and they know that.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah, but kids are the nicest people. I'm telling you, kids are like the nicest, for the most part, nicest, most innocent people you'll ever meet.
Oh, for real. The parents are the worst. Yeah.
It's all like if there's a bad.
Are you talking about Karate Kids?
I'm talking about kids in general, but yeah, I mean, when I taught Taekwondo, I also taught a little bit of Jiu-Jitsu.
Karate Kids are nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame of where the martial arts world has come in terms of traditional martial arts, because they've watered down the art tremendously for money, kind of like similar to what multiplayer gaming is going through right now. It's been severely watered down, so it's heartbreaking. But at the end of the day, if there's a kid that's truly dedicated, he or she is gonna make the most out of it, and they're gonna be really good. But for the most part, there's been a lot of things that have been watered down, which is heartbreaking. But it is what it is. But kids in general, though, they're really, they're just open and kind people when you look at it.
Yeah, I had a friend.
They're taught respect when they do that karate stuff, right?
Yes, if it's a traditional martial arts, yes. But of course, there are some bad apples. They're not. There are schools out there that won't go in depth into that. It depends. It depends on the teacher and how good the teacher is, and as well as the school itself. So, because some schools will purposely leave stuff out, man. Like they'll just focus on whatever. Sometimes it just depends on the school. It's not always on the style. It's about the school. So if the owner wants things done a certain way, there's nothing really you could do about it. It's got to be done their way because they're the boss. They own the school. It's got to be done the way they want to be done. Right now, back in the day, back in like the 80s, 70s, 60s, it would be rare to find a grandmaster. Now there's grandmasters all over the place, and and a lot of them don't deserve their rank. Honestly, I can say that wholeheartedly, and I can say it freely without any hesitation whatsoever. There's even a lot of black belts with varying degrees that don't deserve their rank. I've got no shame in saying that. It's just the truth. It's just what it is. I've even heard of stories beyond my personal experience of shit, and I was like, oh my gosh. I couldn't believe what I was reading, and I'm like, wow. And on top of that, you got guys like that are really cocky simply because they have rank that they didn't earn. So they're cocky and they're this and they're that, but they don't know their shit. So, and that's how the standards kind of get watered down, and it's turned into a pure business and blah blah blah. And I could go on and talking about it, but it's terrible. But a lot of kids, especially younger kids, usually do get something out of it if the school is within a certain standard. But sadly, it's a little bit harder to find a good school nowadays in terms of like what a good school really is. The term nowadays is McDojo because they're kind of like McDonald's. They're just selling shit like hotcakes. They're giving out promotions like they give out McMuffins and stuff like that.
Like the McMansion concept.
Yeah. So sad story.
Karate place in my neighborhood got shut down last week.
Oh yeah. Any idea why? What was it? Was it because they went
Uh,
out of business, or was there something else?
let's just say the dude that ran the place was a pervert.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, one of
Yeah, he
those.
was a yeah he
All right, Sky Zone.
like
Thank
not
you
the
for
not,
stopping.
not
Thank you for stopping by, brother. We'll
he
see you
didn't
on the
do
next one, brother.
there was a like my best friend's wife used to date the owner, and um like she used to tell me stories. She broke up with him because he found out he was giving out like free memberships to the parents of the kids that went there if they slept with him.
Wow.
Like he'll offer like he not the kids, he sleep with the parents. He'll give the kids free memberships.
Oh, that's not entirely unheard of.
Yeah,
That's
and
definitely happened before.
yeah, and he got charges on him for rape,
Oh my
and
gosh.
his whole place got shut down.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, the sad part about it, that dojo that he ran up there, that had been up since I was a kid, and it finally got shut down like last week.
Yeah. A lot of places are no good, but they stay around for many, many years. And then they finally get shut down after many years of something that's been going on or may have been going on. So,
Yeah,
Chuck?
but his style of karate was just basically teaching you self-defense.
Yeah. Well, a lot of places it really like the term self-defense is really thrown around a lot. You still have to look to see which place is legitimately good for self-defense and which is not. So, because remember they will use the term self-defense in order to promote themselves. You know what I mean? So, because ultimately the people that are interested in these things, most of them like don't know what real self-defense is. So, they think they're being taught like when they're being taught katas or forms, they think that's self-defense or they'll promote that as self-defense and it's like, no, I'm sorry, it's not. It is a piece of a puzzle, but it's not self-defense. So, um, self-defense is not formalized. Self-defense is not always clean. Self-defense is not predictable. So,
Kids learning karate and doing that kind of stuff is actually a good thing for them. I don't think any of that's that bad. I think it's all good for kids to learn karate especially when they're young. Learn a little bit how to defend yourself.
right. No, I'm not saying it's bad for kids. Like the kids are the ones that get the most out of it.
Like
Um,
I'm trying to get my daughter into karate. Not giving. She's not having it.
okay, then
Uh,
try her in Gracie Jiu Jitsu. See how she likes that.
like I'm trying to get her in the sun. All she does is stay in the house and play video games. I'm like, you want to play some soccer? Go play karate, boxing, do something. I'm trying to get her into some sport activities.
How old is she?
14.
Okay.
Uh,
Try to see if there's a Gracie Jiu Jitsu school in your place. Near your town. You're gonna
oh,
like it's not
down
it's the most effective martial art, not just martial arts wise, but like for self defense as well. And it's fun as hell, and it's very satisfying, and it's good
uh,
exercise too. So, and it's grappling. So I highly recommend it. I couldn't recommend it enough. Um, and
it's like the older my daughter gets, the more girly she gets. When she was younger, she was more of a tomboy.
right. Well, it's fine. She could be girly, but it doesn't mean that she can't. You know, it doesn't mean that she won't that she can't kick your ass if she knows how to. So, um, I think that's perfectly fine. That's a nice balance. I mean, you could be girly, but at the same time, if it's time to defend yourself, it's like there's a switch that happens in the snap of a finger. So, uh, it's fine to be girly, but then at the same time, there's also time to where you have to, if you have to put your foot down, that's. So, because she is a girl. So, if you're a girl, it's nothing wrong with being girly.
Yeah, but you also have to, you know, defend yourself and
One
figure
time in
out.
school, she got suspended for 3 days for knocking a kid's tooth out. I was so proud
Oh,
of her.
Ah,
Sounds
I
like
was I wasn't even mad. I bought her a milkshake right after school. I was like,
sounds like
I'm gonna go. I'm like, you knocked that kid out. I'm gonna go buy you a milkshake and hamburgers and French fries.
I kind of had problems in school like that too. I just
Like what? Why did she do it?
The kid grabbed their butt.
Okay, yeah, she had every right to knock his tooth out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She told him he grabbed her butt 2 times. First time she warned him.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
First time she warned him. She goes, "You do that again, I'm gonna punch you in the face." And I always told her, "I'm not gonna get mad at you if you defend yourself, or if the man's out of line.
Yep.
I'll never get mad at her."
Yep.
So
Nope.
she warned the boy. He did it again. She knocked 2 of his teeth out right out of his mouth.
I
Nice.
Good job. Good for her. I don't
Exactly.
see anything. I don't see anything wrong with that. I 100% agree. When did this
Oh
happen?
yeah.
When did this happen?
She was 11 years old when it happened.
Okay.
Like when she was younger, I used to, because I did boxing when I was a kid, so like I knew boxing, and I taught her a couple combos, and she memorized it and used it and knocked the kid's 2 teeth out.
You'll never forget
And
that
then
anytime soon.
and then I went to the school to pick him up, and the parent was trying to yell at me, and I was like, "Tell your kid not to grab her ass."
I know.
I said exact words to the parents. Like I heard the story, I was like, "Fuck your kid."
It's like yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's like no wonder your kid fucked up. I mean, it's like you're getting mad. You're getting mad at the parent whose kid was the victim of like what would be like if that happened like outside of school. That's isn't that a like sexual assault? So it's like
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
okay,
could.
so you're gonna yell at me because somebody assaulted me that way for defending myself. It's like get the hell out of here. It's like no wonder that kid
Yeah.
screwed up because the example that he's following is his parents. It's like
Yeah,
really? It's like I would
Shit,
have.
I told the kid if my daughter didn't punch him, I would have pressed charges for sexual harassment.
Yeah,
Now that she punched him, it's all even up. I let it go.
yeah, and they were, and at the same time, you still had the right to do that.
Even even the kid's dad was talking shit to me, and I'm not gonna say on the mic what I said back to him, but let's say
Right.
it wasn't pretty.
Right.
Like I told the dad, you're gonna end up like your little boy if you try to test me.
Ugh.
Yeah. No, and
Ridiculous.
he had all the
People
proof
are
he
ridiculous.
had all the proof he needed because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So
Yep, and the principal suspended the kid for a week for doing that.
good,
So he got his teeth knocked out and he got suspended for a week.
good.
I swear, the audacity.
Well, that's the problem nowadays. The problem is from the parent. Like 99.99999% of the time, it's not the kid, it's the parent. Like 99.9% of the time, there's no such thing as a bad kid. It's a bad parent. And
Oh,
remember,
always.
I said 99
Always.
point. I remember I said 99.99999. There's extreme rare cases, that are rumored to be true or not, but for the most part, it's the parent. It's
Want to
the
hear? You want to hear a real messed up story? What happened 2 weeks ago at my daughter's school?
as
a
long
kid-
as long as
a
you
kid
as long as YouTube
got
doesn't
caught.
doesn't blacklist me.
Yeah, as long
Oh,
as you
no,
change the names, I guess.
It's real quick. A kid went to school. He snuck a knife in through his pencil case, and they have metal detectors at the school. If you put your knife in, put something metal inside of a pencil case, you can get it past metal detectors. And the same kid that got caught with the knife, he had 5 grams of heroin on him.
Oh God.
He snuck all that past metal detectors, a knife and heroin on him. And I heard stories about how he was giving it to kids. So that's a crazy story. That's something that normal does not happen in schools these days.
Yeah, you're talking about like maybe my school 20 years ago.
Oh, this is middle school. This ain't even high school.
Oh jeez.
So stuff's crazy these days.
Yeah, I'd say at this point, if I had a kid, I would have taught them myself on how for them to defend themselves. You know,
Ah,
if I couldn't
gosh.
if I either didn't have the time, which I would make, but let's say if there were circumstances where I couldn't do it myself, I would make sure that it would get taken care of to where my kid would be more than capable of taking care of themselves. And plus, I would easily be able to like overlook their training as well. So, but that's just me.
Nah, I'd end up homeschooling because all this dumb shit with, you know, people bringing other things to school, you know, I can't. I don't know. And the drills that my sister tells me about that her kids do for the, um, you know, uh, I don't know. I don't want YouTube to, uh, censor you or whatever, but the sort of drills, that involve, um, somebody coming onto the school campus.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so like the sort it, the way that she explains these drills to me is just like insane. So yeah, I'd probably like be the kind of person who would have to like quit my job and like devote all my time to like homeschooling and like doing all this bullshit because, you know, it's just crazy. I just don't understand. I don't understand how people have kids now
It's
and like
scary being a
put them out in the world.
it's you know it's scary being a parent now these days.
I know.
Like every time my daughter goes to the park, like every minute that she's gone, I'm thinking, is she okay? Like I'm gonna text her, she's okay. Like I'm very overprotective.
Yeah, my
Uh,
sister does the Apple tags now and her kids hate it.
like I bought my daughter a cell phone, so I can get a hold of her if she leaves the house.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's like the number one thing. Like when your kid gets into teenage years, that's like the number one thing that every parent should buy their kid is a phone, so they can definitely get a hold of them and see if they're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. See, my sister
Uh,
has kids. She has two kids that are um 3 and 8, and then she has two teenagers. So
two teenagers.
yeah.
That's a
Mm.
lot of kids.
So yeah, I know.
One more, and she got the starting five for her basketball team.
Well, she does. She has a 20-year-old that's out of the house. So yeah,
Oh,
I
she
know.
got a start. Uh, man, there's a dude that lives in my neighborhood. His name's Blue. We call him. That's his nickname. This dude has 21 children.
Oh my God.
The same woman?
He has 21 kids.
The same woman?
No, he has like
No, I don't think so.
five different baby mamas.
Okay. About to say,
Five different baby
I don't think
mothers.
a woman can produce more than a certain amount.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
I don't
there are
know.
women
You know what?
out there.
There's a girl that used to live in my neighborhood, and she has. I'm not lying when I say this. She has 13 children.
Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's possible, but not every woman can give birth to that many kids.
it's pretty crazy. That lady
It's
from
it,
what is it,
it's
19 Kids and Counting? Yeah.
it's very rare. You know, I
Does
remember.
she even feel it anymore? Like after that many? Like after a certain
I
amount?
don't know. I never ask her because she's like the hideous. She's hideous to look at, so I never ask her.
Oh.
Like
How adorable.
every time I see her and I'm talking to her, I put my hand over my head and I'm like, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Have a nice day. I'm putting my hand over my eyes so I can't see her.
Oh God.
Like I'm playing peekaboo.
Ah!
Um,
Yeah, like she's very hideous to look at. But there's the people that live in my neighborhood. I met quite a few characters that are just off the rails, you know. And
I
like
guess
the dude lives
I
up my
guess
street.
the
21 children, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, you should have stopped after like four.
Damn.
That's a lot of child support.
Yes, it
Jeez.
is.
I remember when I was
It's a lot of
27 years
responsibility,
old.
dude.
Yeah, I remember when I was 27, I met him. This is the first time I met the dude with the 21 kids. His oldest son was 21 years old, like almost old as me. And he's like, and he's 51 years old now. The dude that has the 21 kids.
Damn.
I was like, oh my god, dude. But that's just the icing on the cake. I remember I was talking to a girl back. This is after I first broke up with my girlfriend before we got back together. And this girl's dad has 35 children,
Damn.
and he purposely has kids because they all have autism.
Aw.
What?
They all have autism. All these kids have autism. Like they either have autism or they have some kind of like handicap, and he knows they're gonna come out messed up. You know, he knows they're gonna come out with something wrong with them, so he can put them on SSI and collect the check.
Oh my god.
No, he has 35 children, right? They're all on SSI. All
That's
of them.
insane.
So he probably, and let's just say there's $830 a check he gets for each kid.
Shit.
So times that 35 times, and that's how much money he gets a month.
I
He
wonder how.
does that.
I wonder
He's
how
a
common
scammer.
this
That's
is.
what he does, you know?
I wonder how common this is.
Say that again?
Hmm.
I wonder how common this is.
Common?
Yeah.
Oh, with people doing this, yeah, the people will do anything for the dollar. You know. Anyway, but when I found that out, I stopped talking to the girl. I didn't want anything to do with her or her family.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm good. I told her I don't want to talk to you anymore. Your family scumbags. And then I stopped talking to her. I was like, forget this. I'm out.
That is crazy.
Yep. Yeah, I wish she would have told me that before I started dating her. Because right after I found that out, I broke up with her and stopped talking to her.
Yeah, well, it's not just something that you come out and say very easily either. It's not. It's
I
not
was like, oh my god, your dad is a. I'm like, your dad is a scammer.
Nah, I
It was that. Keep
because
going.
of my like self-help stuff that I attend, there's this one person that I met, and she used to be a pharmacist, but something happened and she wasn't a pharmacist anymore. So I didn't know what happened, right? But somebody else in the group had told me that she had let her ex-boyfriend come into the pharmacy and like ransack the pharmacy basically and take things.
God, he probably
And
was. It was like Christmas to him, probably.
yeah, he was a junkie. He was a pillhead, and she was a doormat. And so now she's on probation. And she's like legally mandated to, come to our meetings.
wow.
So sometimes, yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, okay.
All right. So,
Like,
so R&D, there's Ed Boon has kind of been interesting on Twitter lately. He put up a poll recently of what mode would Mortal Kombat fans like to see return, and Conquest mode won the majority of the vote. I personally think it's a little bit of a hint. What do you think?
Conquest won.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
It was between Conquest mode, Motor Combat, which was like the go-kart thing that was in Armageddon,
And interested.
Puzzle Combat and Chess Combat. So, and then obviously there was Conquest. So Conquest won like a little over 44% of the vote.
What did I think about that? Can't go wrong with Conquest. The motor one would have been interesting. That would have been like Mario Kart, right?
Yeah, people would have loved for that to be its own game, like from start to finish. Oh, and apparently Diablo, the Diablo 4 demo, a lot of people are having fun with that. It's like all over Twitter.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people talking about that. Okay, going back to Mortal Kombat, when it came to Mortal Kombat, I enjoyed the mini games the most. Like, breaking the wood and the concrete and the glass, or was it ice? Remember that during Test Your Might?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, everybody remembers Test Your Might.
Yeah, I enjoyed that more when I played Mortal Kombat. The Conquest was nice. I heard the new Mortal Kombat is going to be a prequel.
Yeah, I
And,
remember you talking about that last time, but we'll see. Where did you hear this from, by the way? I forgot to ask.
my brother-in-law,
Okay.
he told me. I'm not going to believe his word. I was like, that would be pretty cool if it was true. I'm not. It's not confirmed or nothing, but that's just what he heard, and he told me that.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, I would.
Yeah, that'd be. I heard that He told me that it was gonna be like a prequel before Mortal Kombat 1. And they were gonna take it back before Mortal Kombat and before Part 1, where Scorpion was still a human. This is before he died. Like stuff like that's what I heard. But we'll see.
Well, I hope if they do go in that direction, I hope they do it right.
Yeah, but the only thing that's bad about going in that direction, not that many fighters will be in the game.
Well, not as many familiar fighters.
Yeah, they'll probably they'll have to add a lot more new ones.
Yeah. Yeah, you won't see Johnny Cage. Scorpion and Sub-Zero you'll see. Kano you won't see probably. Sonya you won't see. And a few others. So
No Shao Kahn.
I don't know about that. Shao Kahn.
Oh no, not Shao Kahn didn't come to part 2, right?
Yeah, but again, Shao Kahn was around for much longer before Part 2.
Oh, so they could bring him back.
Oh yeah, Shao Kahn. No, yeah, Shao Kahn's been around for centuries before the Mortal Kombat tournament that we see today.
I know in the new one, if they don't do the prequel, I would love to see the evil Raiden come back. I love that evil Raiden when he turned bad.
Yeah, with the black suit and
Right.
everything.
Yeah, where he had the red lightning. I love that was badass.
Yeah, that started with I think that started in Mortal Kombat Deception. Like after the end of after Deadly Alliance, he basically had enough, and in Mortal Kombat Deception, especially with the ending in Mortal Kombat Deception, it was that was it.
Don't bring back, and I don't want to bring back Cyber Sub-Zero. I thought Cyber Sub-Zero was not that good.
Oh yeah, well you already had 3 other cyber ninjas, so you really don't need to add more after that, in my opinion.
And the Ninja Reptile, like that was the best version of Reptile, I thought.
Which version?
When he was just the straight up green and black ninja.
Okay.
From part 2, I think. Like when they actually made him into a reptile, I was not liking that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, but they definitely need to bring back Evil Raiden, like in Street Fighter, how they got Evil Ryu, like
Yeah.
have like an evil version of Raiden.
Yeah.
You know we're getting a Mortal Kombat and a Street Fighter game this year, right? Brand new Mortal Kombat game, brand new Street Fighter game. How fucking cool is that?
Oh, yeah, definitely cool. They're both the top of the line fighting games. Like, I don't think nothing can top them two. Like they're definitely the top 2 best.
Hmm. Yeah, I personally would love, like, I don't know, a part of me thinks that, well, part of me thinks that it might not be a traditional fighting game, but then another part of me thinks that one of the reasons why Mortal Kombat 12 has been taking so long to come out, let alone be announced, is because they got the scoop on what Street Fighter is doing, because Street Fighter 6 is going to have this like open world concept sort of thing. And then I think they got the scoop on it, and I guess they want to do their own sort of thing with that, which could be a thing. But at the same time, I haven't looked enough into Street Fighter, but maybe they haven't revealed too much of how the open world thing works. But it's like, how do you do that? I don't know. Like, how are they doing open world in a fighting game? How do you do that?
Human players own this, or that's
What do you
would
mean?
it be like an online multiplayer with a bunch of fighters where everybody can
I
pick
think
a
you
different
I think you
fighter?
I think you can do both, single and multiplayer.
Uh,
Hmm.
I have no idea how that would happen, but
All I know is that Street Fighter 6 is looking very good and very sophisticated. Like, plus it's let's be real here. Marvel, I'm sorry, not Marvel, excuse me. Capcom, I mean, amazing. Oh, look, Ed Boon an hour ago posted a new tweet. Which fighting game would you most want to see come back with a brand new version? And he said Dead or Alive, Killer Instinct, Marvel vs. Capcom, or Street Fighter. I'm going with Killer Instinct.
following
Hmm.
him on Twitter too. Trying to look.
And Marvel vs. Capcom is winning that poll so far at 54.4%. I voted KI, and it's at 30 in second place.
Interesting.
Everybody liked Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom was very popular. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is in a lot of people's top 10 lists of best fighting game ever. I think it's safe to say if there's a game that deserves the best fighting game of all time title, it would be Street Fighter 2, probably. Everybody played that. I mean, that's the game that brought everybody together. But honestly, I mean, it's just amazing how far fighting games have come, man. You got like open world going on now. You've got story modes now. You've got training modes. You've got professional players. Oh, by the way, they recently announced that at Evo, the pro player that gets first place in that tournament this year, starting this year, is going to win $1 million. And the highest grand prize winner used to be 20 or 30 at most. Now it's 1 million. That's life-changing money right there. I mean, and we're talking like the top 1%. Like, can you imagine? Like, it is so fucking difficult to be just within the top 1%. When you look at these competitive fighting player, I mean, have you seen how good fighting game players are?
Yeah.
Like, have you seen what these guys can do? I mean, it's
I know. It's very competitive, very fierce.
like,
For Killer Instinct.
oh my gosh, that one too, yeah. I mean,
The one fighting game I would love to have back. I don't know if you've ever played this. Eternal Champions for Sega Genesis.
I don't know that game, Eternal Champions. I do not know or remember that game, to be honest with you. I do not.
There was fatalities in the game, but they were stage fatalities.
Hmm.
It was I think it was just Sega Genesis. Oh, Eternal Champions. It's like Street Fighter, but it had stage fatalities. Like there was a mob boss named Larson Tyler. He was one of the fighters. He wore a trench coat, had a suit. He looked like an Italian mobster. His stage fatality, if you had to perform it on his stage, you knock him down in a certain area of the mat on the stage, and a car will drive by, and they'll start shooting you with guns.
Mm.
The fighter's name was Larson Tyler, and like you should definitely YouTube it. That was a real good fighting game. It was called Eternal Champions for Sega Genesis.
Hmm.
But it was a good game. It just
Okay.
never got a lot of publicity when the game came out, you know, because back in the 90s, everybody thought every fighting game was violent, even Street Fighter. Everybody didn't like the violent games back in the day. You got the religious people I'm referring to.
Yeah.
But Eternal Champions is definitely a game that like I would like if I had to choose a fighting game to come back, that would be it.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a real good game.
Or better yet, remaster a game that was terrible and bring that back and make it good.
Yeah, like bring back Predator Concrete Jungle.
Yeah, that was
That came out for Xbox.
yeah, but that wasn't a fighting game.
Oh no, yeah, oh, yeah, fighting game. Primal Rage was a fighting game. That was another one. It was terrible back in the day, but it had some potential to it. It was you fought dinosaurs were the characters. You fought with dinosaurs in there. Like they had a
Primal
raptor.
Rage.
Primal Rage.
Yeah, I remember Primal Rage. I played the shit out of that. I even had the Sega Saturn version, which was an arcade faithful version
No,
of the game.
personally, I liked that game. Everybody else didn't for some reason.
Oh, I liked it quite a bit. Back in the day, me and my friends liked it. When I first saw that game, they had a big arcade, they had a big screen arcade cabinet of it, and I loved it. I thought it was cool. It was like almost like Mortal Kombat style, but Primal Rage. I mean, it was one of those games that was Mortal Kombat kind of created Primal Rage. It's kind of like, you know how other battle royales have come out since Fortnite has been such a huge success. I mean, that's what happened back in the day with Mortal Kombat. Like Mortal Kombat had the violence and the blood and stuff like that and the finishers, and guess what? Primal Rage was a dinosaur version of Mortal Kombat to where, okay, you had the violence and then you had the finishers. So Primal Rage was awesome. I liked it quite a bit. It would be nice for them to bring that back. I would love for them to bring back Primal Rage. I think eventually, and you know what else? I think it's more likely to happen with Microsoft than, and like, you know, Nintendo's not going to do that. And I don't know about Sony, but but the thing is, like, with in terms of Primal Rage, I think Microsoft would be the most likely company to revive that if they were to bring it back. But the problem is, you don't hear a lot of people saying bring back Primal Rage. It's just
nobody knows about it except for the older folks.
Yeah. So I mean, but it could be cool if a company picks up on it and does something with it and they put depth into it. But I don't know if it would be as impactful today as it was back in the day, because a lot of fighting games now have their version of finishers, and a lot of fighting games have their own version of violence and stuff like that. So I don't know. Copying Mortal Kombat, I think, would be less of an impact now than it was, like, let's say, back in the 90s or 2000s. Unfortunately, but you know, because Mortal Kombat is like, if you're looking at what Mortal Kombat is doing now, it's like, dude, it's like nobody's quite doing it like Mortal Kombat, and on top of that, you really don't need that anybody else to do that. And I think that's one of the reasons why the guys over at NetherRealm also started doing Injustice games. You know, so there are multiple reasons why, but at the same time, it's like Mortal Kombat, it's good to have, but you don't want to overdo it. You know, you don't want it to lose its majesticness. You know, I think that's one of the reasons why Mortal Kombat 9 or Mortal Kombat 2011 was such a success. It's because we haven't seen that Mortal Kombat in a while. Armageddon wasn't it. Obviously, MK versus DC was different. It was a break. And then when MK9 came back in full force, everybody just embraced it. It's like, yes, it's been a while. But if you're getting it all the time, it's like, it kind of starts to, you kind of become desensitized to it, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Yeah. So, what else did I want to mention in this one?
Scream spoilers.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about Cocaine Bear or Scream 6, RMD?
Either one's cool with me.
Yeah, because you were basically saying Cocaine Bear is like the best thing since sliced bread.
Oh, that's the movie of the year.
Okay.
Like who don't like to see a bear do cocaine?
All right.
And have withdrawals when he didn't have cocaine in a couple hours. Like that was so funny. That movie definitely movie of the year for me.
Well, what else makes it movie of the year? I mean, you gotta go in slightly more in depth because there's got to be more to it than just that. Because everybody knows that that's basically the premise. But like, what what specifically made it movie of the year for you? Like, what there has to be a few specifics.
The people that's in it, the cast, the story. Just like, how can you not like you? You didn't see the movie yet, did you?
No.
It's just it's different from like other movies that came out. You know, who the hell would make a movie about a bear that eats cocaine? And like it's a dark comedy. Like,
Right.
it's hard for me to say how good the movie is without giving away spoilers. Like, you got this bear that's on cocaine. He's like banging his head off trees. He's straddling trees in the movie because he's so high on cocaine. Like, there's a scene where these hitchhikers are looking at him and he's banging his head off a bear. Then next thing you know, he's on the tree straddling it. It's a female bear. That's what makes it more funny. It's a female bear. It's not a male bear.
Oh god.
It's like so high on coke. There's a scene where it does the cocaine. He's like skimming on the ground. He's like crawling in a funny way. And then he just starts sniffing this dude and he starts rubbing his face like he wants to have sex with them. Like, the movie, it's just an awesome movie. And Ray Liotta's in it.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. Ray
Uh,
Liotta's in it. Ice Cube's son is in it. Oh my! Like, you gotta watch the movie to understand it better. Like, oh my god, the movie of the year.
So does it just
It's
eat
a
does it just eat cocaine or does it also like sniff it like a human does?
he trips in the movie. Like, he sees butterflies. Like, there's a part where he's hallucinating butterflies and stuff. Like, he's so far gone on the coke. He's feeding his babies cocaine in the movie.
No.
He got little cubs in the movie. He's bringing a bag of cocaine to them.
Oh god.
Oh my god! Like, I, it's just a good movie. And he's outrunning ambulances and stuff, ripping people's arms off, hunting down hikers. Oh my god! But definitely movie of the year. You definitely gotta watch that movie.
Now, with Scream 6, I heard that there was a twist that most people did not see coming.
What twist did you hear? I'll tell you if it's true.
Well, I don't know the specifics because it wasn't a spoiler-filled video that I listened to or saw briefly. But apparently there was like a major twist in the movie that most people did not see coming.
I remember there's a twist in the movie.
Again, I don't know, but would you say? I mean, obviously, like in your opinion, like obviously we're at the point to where we grew up in the same era. So, is Scream 1 still the best of the bunch in your opinion?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Scream 4 is the worst out of all of them.
I'll agree.
Scream 1.
Yeah, Scream 4.
Okay, so Scream 1 is the best.
Part 4 is the worst.
Okay, Scream 1 is the best, 4 is the worst. So where does this one stand in your opinion?
After part 3.
And where's part 3 stand?
After part 2. It goes 1, 2, 3, 6.
Gotcha. And
1,
then
2, 3, 6, 5, 4.
damn.
That's how I would rank them.
Okay.
Respectable. Okay.
Part 4 was terrible. Did you ever see part 4?
Yes.
What about you, Jack? You ever watched part 4?
I haven't seen Scream movies in a long ass time. So I've seen I don't even know which I probably 4 could have been the last one I saw, but I don't remember it. It was a while ago.
6, I put that as the 4th best Scream movie.
Okay.
Mhm.
Part 4 is the worst. That's the worst Scream movie. just because of who the killers were. That's why I rank it the worst. Because the killers were the weakest out of all the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were. No, I'm not making fun of short people. Okay, the two
And
killers in part 4 were both like 5'3". like like the
what you
leprechaun.
gotta say about short people?
Well, if you're gonna have somebody be a killer in the movie, you gotta make them at least 6 feet tall. You know,
Oh,
or
okay.
if a killer was coming after me, I'm 5'11". If a killer was coming after me and he's 5'3", I'm just gonna kick him over and whoop his ass.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna if yeah, that's what was wrong with part 4. The killers were midgets.
Oh God. See, there are
What
all
made
kinds
no
of
sense?
problems with part 4,
What
but not being short
that
wasn't
was
one.
that was my no, because it didn't match up with the killers. When they were in the Scream costumes, they looked over 6 feet tall. But when they revealed themselves, they were like 5'3".
Oh my God.
Like the
No,
stunt man that pursued the killers it didn't match up.
that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
That's
I
funny.
know.
yeah.
Okay,
Like
so
but
so
one of the
I'm
killer, like with one of the killers in part 5, it was the same way. One of the killers were 6 foot. One of them was 4'11". Like, and it didn't match up with the killers, and they were betraying them.
uh,
And and
but there were other problems
Anthony
too.
Anderson in part 4. This was another one that I was like, oh my god, that was unnecessary. Anthony
Yeah, that
Anderson.
was,
Hey, hey, Jack, you don't plan on seeing this, do you?
I might at some point in time. I mean, if I've got nothing much to do or whatever the deal is, like the Scream movies, I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't mind them at all, but it's like I don't know, they just got a little too repetitive or whatnot. It's like it just didn't keep my interest for too long, if that makes sense.
oh,
I'm not gonna say what character gets killed in this movie, but let's go back to part 4. I'll say one of the characters gets stabbed in the head, right?
yeah.
And for some reason, he just says F Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
you just got stabbed in the head. Why are you gonna say F Bruce Willis?
I
You know?
know. He's got like nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with the movie. Like, where did that come from?
It's so weird.
Yeah, but that's all I'm gonna say about part 4. Yeah, yeesh, that like I didn't like part 4 at all.
Okay,
But
so listen, I'm a short queen and I'm Italian, and even
same
with
here.
my nose wet, I could kill you. Like
Same here. I'm Italian.
like for real. Like don't underestimate short people.
Not all short people. There is some short people that can like I bet.
There's some female Italian serial killers in history.
Yeah,
Giuliana Campana.
I'm just
Um,
saying for scary movies, you gotta make the killers look intimidating.
for real, I agree. But yeah,
But
that was like a big disparity with they never explained the um the height difference, you know?
uh,
Like
and the killer's motives in 4 and 5, they were weak motives.
yeah, they made no sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like they didn't have no connection to any of the original characters.
I know. Yeah.
Like their motives were on the weak side. Part 6, on the other hand, the killer's motives were actually really good.
Yeah, I've seen spoilers. Yeah.
And it was filmed in. They said the movie was filmed in New York, but it was really filmed in Canada. The environment of Part 6 was really good. Wherever they filmed it in Canada, that was a really good environment for the movie.
Yeah, I've seen some scenes. Yeah. The
Did did
bodega
you, did,
especially.
did neither one of you watch Part 6 yet?
No, I didn't watch it yet, but I've seen clips and stuff.
The movie's 2 hours and 5 minutes. So
Oh wow.
I enjoyed it. Like there was not a part where I was bored. Like
Okay.
like from the start, part six was real good.
I've gotten really spoiled by not seeing movies in the theater, by just seeing them at home. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe I will
The
go see it in the theater.
the night that we went to go see the movie, it took us 40 minutes to get out of the theaters because it was so packed.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Like it was it we like when we went in we got straight to our seats, but getting out of there it was like the line from getting out to the end to the exit was ridiculous.
Yeah, getting out of the parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah, of course there was people dressed up there as Ghostface trying to scare everybody,
Oh, of course. Yeah.
and someone ran behind me trying to like scare me with a fake knife, and I was like, you almost got elbowed, buddy.
Uh,
They were they reminded me of Scream Part Two, where everybody went to the theaters, you know, in the beginning.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like that. It was like that. Everybody in the theater was like all screaming and stuff. They were going, oh, every time a part happened.
Oh God, that's funny.
Yeah, but good movie though. Good movie. You say I could talk about it, but I don't want to give away any spoilers. You know, if you plan on watching it, I don't want to ruin it for you.
Okay.
Uh, do you guys, Laura? I know you read books, right?
Oh yeah.
RMD, do you read any books?
Right now, I'm reading The Black Phone.
Okay, but like in the past, at any given point in time, did you read any fiction books or whatnot?
When I was a kid, I read. I was huge on Star Wars books,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
like Star Wars and Jack the Ripper. I was always heavy on like serial killers
Now,
and the Amityville horror because that involved my family.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, the DeFeos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my last name is DeFeo.
Oh,
Yeah, so like I've read a lot on the Amityville horror.
okay. My
Uh,
It's pretty tacky, but um in Amityville there, I don't know if it's still there. There used to be a coffee house. It was called Witch's Brew, and my friends and I used to go there for coffee or whatever, and then afterwards we used to drive by the Amityville Horror House because it was right there. Um, and then we would pass by because the bar was right there too. The bar that um uh the guy went to after he killed his family.
hey, you talking about Ronnie, or Ronald, or
Ronnie.
Ronnie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I personally, I never met him. I never met him. He
yeah.
knew my dad knew him, and my dad they didn't get along, and my dad moved out of that house because of because Ronnie and his family we weren't up there in the head. They
Right,
were on the little nutty side.
right. It's a tacky
Uh,
thing to do, but yeah, we used to just like, rubberneck.
oh yeah, my dad got away from him as soon as he can. He was a creep from what my dad used to tell me.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I forgot what year that happened. That happened in the 70s, right?
I think like 78.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but he's related to me, but I never met him. Uh,
Mhm.
and everybody learns of my last name. They're always asking me, "Are you related to Ronald DeFeo?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Ugh,
I'm like, I'm like, most of the time I tell people no, so they don't ask me 1,000 questions.
right.
Yeah, but yeah, but unfortunately, that's my dad's cousin, so that will be my cousin, I guess.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a crazy story, but what kind of books you read, Jack?
I haven't read in a long time, but I read, um, I don't know what came over me when it happened, but I was in the mood for whatever reason to read a book. I don't know what it was. So back in the day when they had the Eckerd's Pharmacy, right now Eckerd's doesn't exist anymore. It's just like Walgreens or whatever. But close to my neighborhood where I used to live at, there was an Eckerd's, and I walked in there, and I was walking by there's a book aisle, and I saw this book, and it had a gigantic great white shark about to eat a woman, and it looked real. It wasn't like a cartoon or anything. I was like, whoa. And I'd always been fascinated with sharks. I'm like, yeah, why not? So I saw a New York best-selling author, blah, blah, blah. I was like in 9th or 10th grade at the time, and I picked up the book, and I took it home with me, and I read it, and it was The Trench, which was the sequel to the first book, which was The Meg.
Oh,
which is the movie that they made the movie out of it. However, the movie itself has been butchered.
You talking about the shark that's like 75 feet long or something?
Yeah, the Megalodon, yeah.
The Megalodon? Yeah, that was a great movie.
They changed so much from the book. Like Jason Statham's character, for instance, is not a rescue diver. You know, in the book, he's a scientist. And originally that movie was supposed to be like a hard R-rated movie directed by Eli Roth. But they changed a lot of stuff on it, and obviously they put a few comedy elements into it. So it is what it is. You know, there's things that they did right, there's things that they did wrong, but it is what it is. And it's funny. And the thing is, I actually read 3 of like the 5 or 6 books that came out. And I actually read the 3rd one twice.
They're filming part 2 to the Meg. It's called The Trench.
That is correct, and that's exactly what that book was called too. But the thing is, it's like it's like how different is it going to be? So,
I think that's what they do in movies, like just to make it more exciting. They'll change it up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, they always do that. It was going to be completely different. I'm telling you. You know, it was going to be directed by Eli Roth, and it was going to be a hard R-rated movie. And then they changed. What
is that book called?
The Trench.
The Trench.
Yeah.
The Trench.
The second one was called The Trench. The first one was called Meg. The second one was called The Trench. The third one was called Primal Waters, or Meg Primal Waters, and then the fourth one was called Hell's Aquarium. The 5th one was called, I believe, Night Stalkers, Meg Night Stalkers, and then the 6th one and the final one, which I'm told, is called Generations.
I have to look for some of them books. The Trench, right?
The Trench was the second one.
The Trench. I definitely got to check that out.
And when I actually, like, I went to the website of the author, and he said that he personally answers his emails. So I actually sent him an email, and guess what? Within like a day or 2, he responded back.
Oh yeah, what did he say? How do you think?
I actually asked about the movie, I believe, because he was trying even back then, which was like 20 years ago. He was even trying back then to get the Meg going. He was trying to get the Meg movie going, and there was potential, and there was talks back and forth, but nothing ever got greenlit. So that was that. But he did answer back to me, and I was like, wow, that was so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he's a man of his word, Steve Alton, and is a man of his word, and he did answer me back. But it's going to be very interesting now that like it's pretty much over. I think the 6th and final book has been released, and if it has, I'm sure there's what's it called? I'm sure there's people out there that are reviewing it and shit. And of course there's samples of it online, obviously. Like if you're gonna buy the book, I'm sure there's samples of it to where you can see a few pages and shit like that. But I was genuinely like I actually thought the 5th one was gonna be the last one, but no, it's not. It's the last one is Generations, which is the final one. Let me see.
I guess they're going by the book, because the first movie was called The Meg. Now the second one's called In the Trench.
Yeah. So hopefully, well, yeah, they're loosely following the book, loosely.
like how Resident Evil loosely follows the game.
Yeah.
And for the movies.
Oh wow, there's
Because
even wow. I mean, it's
Yeah,
yeah, and they even have. Did they actually release a poster, or is that bullshit? Hold on, let me look at this. So
poster for what? The movie.
what the fuck? They've already released a poster to the second movie, and it's got a fucking tornado on the poster.
I hope a tornado.
It's I don't know if it's official though or not. It says Amazon Images. I don't know if that's official or not. I'm not sure.
Just hope they don't kill
May-
the one dude.
Could be it could be
in part
photoshopped.
two.
Honestly, it could be photoshopped.
I just
Yeah.
hope they. I hope they don't kill Cliff Curtis in the second one. I don't want him dying.
And believe it or not, R&D, there's like, well, first of all, I think they've released a few photos of it, which are like the which are posters apparently, but the one on IMDb, the international, the Internet Movie Database, they've actually got that poster of the fucking shark and the tornado and everything. It's so weird.
Looking at it right now.
Um,
That's actually the poster.
yeah, and then there's also
What
another
they do.
there's
I
another
hope they
poster.
turn it.
There's another poster where they made a wave, an ocean wave, look like the shark's mouth.
They
With the-
better not turn this movie into Sharknado.
I hope not. I don't think so. I mean, they've already done that. So
And before I watched Sharknado, everybody said that was everybody always said that was a good movie. You know, that me and my daughter watched the first two movies, and I'm like this. I'm like in the middle of it. Like, do we really have to watch part 3? Like, please no. And then my daughter, I'm like, Skylet, do we really got to watch part 3? Don't torture me. And she goes, she's laughing at me, and I'm like, oh, I hate kids. Like, whoever said that was a good movie, they lied.
yeah,
Did you ever watch Sharknado?
yeah.
No.
Terrible. But go back. What were you saying about the poster, Jack?
There's another poster where the wave looks like a shark's mouth with the teeth and everything. Like there's a few. If you go on IMDb's page, it'll show it right there, and it's like, I'm actually really curious. Like, what is the premise? It says plot unknown, sequel to 2018 film The Meg, and Ben Wheatley is the director, and that's not the same director. It's a different director than the first film. Let's see.
Sure, you're talking about, is it where the shark's coming out of the water?
Yeah,
I got like so many pictures right here of the movie.
well, if you look at photos, I mean, there's one photo where the shark wave looks like the freaking the ocean wave looks like a shark's mouth. It's actually pretty cool how they did that. And it said that it's actually expected by August 4th of 2023. It's in post-production right now.
Picture with 2 sharks chasing Jason Statham.
No surprise there if it was 2 sharks.
2 sharks. That would be crazy if there was 2 75-foot sharks.
Technically, the one that was in the first few books before she died was like, she grew to be over 100 feet big long. It was originally 70, and then she kept growing.
Man, this is making me want to watch part 1.
I have it on Blu-ray.
Oh, I love that movie. Like Deep Blue Sea. I love shark movies like Deep Blue Sea, The Meg. Except for Sharknado, I don't like that.
I'm actually I want to look up right now. Let's see, Jingwoo Lee. Wow. Wow. And you got some people that are actually not coming back from the first film. Okay. So that's interesting.
Cliff Curtis is in part 2, right?
Yeah, Mac is in there. Yeah, he's an integral character to the story. So yes, Mac is in there.
I hope he don't get killed. I don't want him dying.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But let me see. Ben Wheatley. Let's see. What is this guy directed? I'm actually really curious.
Did you know Paige Kennedy was in Leprechaun Back to the Hood?
Then in that, I guess in that aspect, fits in perfectly with this film.
Yeah, Paige Kennedy. He was in Back to the Hood. He was the pothead, and he was the pothead, you know. Remember he was smoking the bong with the leprechaun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who
That's
doesn't? Who
Paige
does? Who
Kennedy.
doesn't? Who doesn't remember that?
But when you talk about leprechaun in space, miss me with that. I can't do that. That was the only leprechaun movies I couldn't take. I was like, okay. I started laughing. I was like, I can't do this. No, because when I was like into the leprechaun, this was back in my younger days where I was a pothead and I couldn't even do it. I just laughed. Yeah, but the space stuff, get out of here with that.
Well, you got it.
I'm looking forward to the Meg too.
Oh, it's a shark. It's a shark movie.
Can you imagine watching that in 3D?
Well, it depends. It depends if you're a lover of 3D or not. 3D could be a hit or miss depending on the movie and what and all that other stuff. So I don't know. It could be a hit or miss. Some people are bigger on 3D than others.
Especially like if they made a video game about it and you can play it on that VR. That VR stuff is nuts. Oh my god, I played Resident Evil in that VR. Oh my god, I'll never do it again. Especially the scene where in Resident Evil 7 where the dad grabs you and he starts stabbing you. It feels like he's really stabbing you when you're in VR mode.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit.
Like I took it off my head real quick. I was like, I couldn't catch my breath. I'm like, that really felt real. Yeah, that VR stuff is crazy. Is there a release date for that movie?
August. It's in post production and it's expected in August 4th of 2023.
August 4th. Oh, great. Summertime.
Nice.
Yeah, movies like that. Yeah, they usually come out around this time.
Good time to come out, right?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, I think Scream 6 made $88 million, like $80 million in like one weekend.
Which I believe are good numbers for a movie like that.
Oh, definitely. They probably just created Scream 8 to definitely come out. They're probably gonna make as many Screams as they made more Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna go all the way to 10 with Scream if it keeps making money.
Wow, I'm wondering if these are actually legit posters of this movie.
They look legit.
They do.
Yeah, they don't look fan made. They look real. They look legit. Except for the sideways, but the shark like with his mouth open with his teeth showing.
Yeah.
Like that one does not look legit. That looks fan made.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, we'll see. But we like, regardless though, we really haven't seen what the shark really looks like yet. At least I don't think so. So we're gonna have to
shark.
Say what? Cocaine shark.
Cocaine shark.
Cocaine shark.
You're gonna have enough cocaine to get that shark high.
Cocaine shark in space.
Going back to Cocaine Bear, it was just like the movie in general, like the characters, the story, like everything just meshed well. Like, it's just like that movie, like it just delivers, you know. The only part that like, cause I took my daughter to go see that, and the only part I didn't like is there was little kids in the movie doing cocaine.
Ugh.
But they did. It was not like they didn't know how to do it. Like they didn't know in the movie you're supposed to snort it. You're supposed to put up your nose. They were eating it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just it's a dark comedy movie.
Sounds like it.
It was directed by Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, I love her.
No shit.
Yeah, it was directed by her, Zack and Mary, the Zack and Mary chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one that directed the movie.
Wow.
Nice.
And they did it. They did a tribute to Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
And in the credits where they go in and they mention him R.I.P.
Yeah.
because that was Ray Liotta's last movie.
It was.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear, yeah.
Yeah, he died unexpected. Uh, just that whole movie's good. Like character, story, the acting. It's just all meshed well.
Hmm.
If you ever get the chance to see Cocaine Bear, don't pass up on it. Watch that.
Oh,
I
I'm
highly
sure
suggest that
it's
movie.
gonna come out on streaming at some point in time anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can't.
Scream 6 and beyond. That's gonna be on streaming pretty soon.
What? Scream 6?
Scream 6.
Yeah, those movies don't usually take a long time to come out.
No, I think Part 5 came out like 45 days after it hit the theaters. That came out the stream in like 45 days after it hit the theaters.
You think we'll ever get a Friday the 13th movie again?
Oh, is that lawsuit still going on?
Good question. I'm glad you brought it up because I totally forgot about it.
I think that's why we didn't get a new one because of that lawsuit.
Hmm.
Like lawsuit or no
Yeah.
lawsuit, do you think we're gonna get one eventually again?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. You got to come up with one like that. I think we're gonna get another Freddy.
Yeah.
Like, and I hope they get Kevin Bacon to play Freddy.
No, that's interesting. Is that what the word is? That Kevin Bacon might do it?
No, there was rumors that he was gonna do it. Kevin Bacon he's a hell of an actor.
Yes, he is.
That would be my pick.
Yes, he is. I'm a Kevin Bacon fan. I like Kevin Bacon a lot.
Yeah. His daughter can act too. She was in Smile.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Kevin
Smile
Bacon
was
is
pretty
Kevin
good.
Bacon's a great actor. I'm never. I'm a Kevin Bacon fan. I'm never gonna back down from that. I think it would
What
be
changed what changed my mind because I never thought he can play a good villain in a movie
until you saw
until
Hollow
I
Man.
watched Hollow Man and the first X-Men movie.
Oh yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
First
what's
Class.
First Class, yeah.
Hollow Man, he was great in that movie. He
Oh,
was real
man.
good.
Yeah.
He was real good in the X-Men movie. Like he plays a really good creepy ass bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
that's a testament to his acting ability because Kevin Bacon he's done everything from Footloose to comedies to like his commercials. There's even a parody of himself. I mean, so Kevin Bacon can do it all. I've said this. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Like one of the things about an actor is if he's playing a good guy and you love him, and if he plays a bad guy and you hate him, that's a testament right there to where like their acting ability is just on a whole other level. Because
Don't forget that he was in Tremors too.
Yeah.
That was he was in Tremors too. That was Tremors Part 1.
yeah, no,
That was a good movie.
that man has done everything. I remember the basketball movie, The Air Up There. That was great.
Yeah, he's a good ass actor.
Yeah, he's done it all. Yeah.
And I mean, yeah.
Yeah, great actor. That would be my pick. I would love to see him play Freddy Krueger. I think he would be way better than I don't remember the actor's name who was in the remake.
Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah, like he looked like Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, well,
he looked like Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, well, that man is a great actor. It just so happened.
No, it was nothing on him. It was
Yeah.
the design of Freddy.
Don't forget he just also happened to play Rorschach as well.
Yeah, he was in that Mystery Man, right?
Watchmen.
The Watchmen.
Yeah, Watchmen. Yeah, that was a good movie. Rorschach was my favorite.
Yeah, Rorschach is most people's favorite.
Uh,
I
he
think
was
Well,
the dude. He was the dude. Yeah, Warshak was not.
yeah,
Doctor Mister New York was weird.
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr.
Or
Manhattan, yeah.
Doctor McHatton. Or it's been so long since I see that movie. I got the names all mixed up and stuff.
Well, what's really interesting is the HBO series Watchmen. It really delves into what happens after the Watchmen movie. And Jeremy Irons is in it, and it's really fascinating. He does a really great performance. Um, Dr. Manhattan gets sent to the moon, and Jeremy Irons plays oh, I forget his name. He plays the other doctor, um, and he gets sent to Mars. So you get to see what happens to him.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
long since I've seen that movie.
I forget what his name is. Um, but yeah, it's really good. It's worth watching if you have HBO Max.
That's my go-to streaming site right now.
Oh yeah.
I like Peacemaker with John Cena. That's real good.
I haven't seen all the episodes, but I hear nothing but good things.
Yeah, Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm having withdrawal. I need season 2 to come out.
And they are making.
That The Boys. I don't know if you ever watched that. The Boys with Carl Urban.
I can't
Yes,
get into
it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. Laura, there's one scene. I'm going to tell you a scene right now. Okay, this is how like it's really good, but like this is how like graphic this series can get. Right? Okay, so in season 3, which was I believe their latest season so far, right? There's a scene with two superheroes and they're a gay couple, right? Two men, and they're making out, and he's like, "I want you inside me." So you know what happens? The one guy has the ability to make himself into very, very tiny size. And he go and he shrinks to a very tiny size. And he goes inside him, but he doesn't go inside from the back. He goes inside from the front.
Ew.
And he's messing around with things from the inside, from the front. And the other guy's enjoying it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he accidentally sneezes, which causes him to go into full size, killing the guy.
Oh my god.
That movie was crazy. That not movie. That whole series is nuts.
Oh god.
There's a character named Mother's Milk. That should say it all right there.
And isn't there one powered being that can like make people orgasm or something like that?
Yeah, I forgot what character that was. I forgot what character that was. God, yeah, but if you got Amazon Prime Video, check The Boys out. You'll love it.
I have to get into it. Yeah. I think I watched the first season and then I stopped watching it because I just like couldn't get into the story. I don't know.
Carl Urban steals the show. Like his acting is just out of this world. How he acts, it's just out of this world.
I'm still pissed
His
off.
acting skills.
I'm still pissed off that they haven't made a Judge Dredd 2 with Carl Urban.
Mm,
Probably because a lot of people thought the first one was too hardcore for them.
But seriously though, I mean, it was good. Dredd was good. It was faithful to the source material.
It was way better than Sylvester Stallone's.
Yeah, yeah. But I still have Sylvester Stallone's. I've got both of the DVDs. I've got Carl Urban's and I got Sylvester Stallone's. You know, I've got a soft spot in my heart for Sylvester Stallone's Dredd because it came out in a time when I was a kid, and back then it was cool.
yeah. I know. It was the
See,
shit.
No, he wasn't the problem with the movie. It was
No.
just the characters in it.
Correct. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone wasn't the problem. No. Actually, if you think about it, he actually played a very textbook Judge Dredd. Carl Urban was just able to somehow do it even better. I mean, Sylvester Stallone's a great actor. He's only gotten better through the years. But Carl Urban is just like, and the voice, like Carl Urban's dread voice is like spot on.
Yeah, but they were both good dreads. Like I think Carl Urban's dread was more relaxed than Sylvester Stallone's.
Yeah, but also like another thing is you got to remember that there's also like the Carl Urban's version really did follow the comic book, because you never see Dredd without his mask, without his helmet on. Like he's always got his helmet on. He never takes it off.
Sylvester Stallone, I like how he interrogated the other characters in the movie. He goes, "How do you plead?" And they'll say, "Not guilty," and he'll just say, "I knew you'll say that," and he hits him over the head.
Yeah, that's 90s tongue in cheek humor. 90s cheese.
Sylvester Stallone, one of the best actors, one of the best action movie actors ever.
Oh yeah, and he's still going to this day. He's got another Expendables coming out.
I was mad he wasn't in the third Creed.
Yeah, I don't know if that was done purposely, but I knew he kind of disagreed in the direction that it went in. But apparently, Creed 3 was good.
He didn't like one of the writers or something. That's why I didn't want to be in it, because one of the writers.
Who knows? You never really know. You never really know what goes on behind the scenes and what the politics of everything is, and that's it.
It's like everybody in actors, like nobody wants to get their egos hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hopefully, I heard that's the last one, though. I heard they're done with all the Rockies and the Creeds now. I heard that's it.
I think so. Supposedly, I don't know.
I heard that a Drago trilogy is getting made.
He deserves it.
But I don't know if it's gonna take place. I don't know if it's gonna be with the dad or the son.
Both probably. It's gonna be centered around the son probably, but the dad is but the dad is kind of gonna be like around him with his career, like Ivan is going to be like the mentor. I think he's gonna take on the mentor role, while
he's gonna be like the mentor, like Rocky was the
but this time we see things from Ivan's perspective, because Ivan's perspective is completely different. Because we don't know much about Ivan. And the thing is, ever since Creed 2, people have been more curious in terms of his development as a character.
Seeing his son, I thought that was great.
Yeah, and Victor,
his son's a big dude.
Oh yeah, his son's a monster.
And his movie son was a big dude. I don't know if they're father and son in real life.
No, they're not. But Dolphin in his day was big as well, but not as big as this guy. This guy's a little bit bigger.
Oh yeah, definitely. Muscle wise, this dude was definitely bigger.
Yes. Yeah. I think Dolph, though, and back in his prime, I think Dolph was a little bit more athletic for a big dude. He's also got
the dude in the movie. His muscles had muscles.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. No, that guy's
how big he was.
Yeah, that guy's in terrific shape. I think he's also a model as well. So legitimate.
I think he was a boxer in real life.
Well, he seems to have experience, that's for sure, because the way his technique is, like if you look, even if you look, go ahead.
His name is Florian Montel.
Yeah,
Montanu.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
He's a German-born Romanian actor and boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's he's 6'4". He's 6'4", 245 pounds, or 250. And that's a big boy.
Yeah, and a solid 250 at that.
Yeah, he's definitely a big boy.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't mess with them. Like, if that was real life, he would knock Michael B. Jordan out easily and move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's how it is, really. I mean, all these guys are very, very technical. There's a reason why there's a lot of people that wouldn't want to fight, for instance, Floyd Mayweather, because of the amount of knowledge, because when you do something for, like, let's say 5 years, and then you do something for 30 years, there's a difference in that. It's one thing to do it for 5 years, which you can get a lot in 5 years. And the more you do it, the less you pick up on. You're just kind of mastering your craft. But when you master your craft that much to 30 years, there's a big difference there. It's in the martial arts, we have a saying, even Bruce Lee said this, actually. Bruce Lee said he doesn't fear the man that knows 10,000 different kicks. He fears the man that knows who's done one kick 10,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a
makes a
reason.
lot of sense.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, kind of like a plumber. Like how many times have you used that tool efficiently? If you got an experienced plumber who's used it efficiently for so many years, that's something that you can't ignore. Experience and knowing how to use that tool properly, in whatever form that tool is not something to shake at. That's why Floyd Mayweather is a good how do I put this? He's the template. You know what I mean? It's or even going into things like cooking, for instance, like Gordon Ramsay is a very good example of like somebody who knows so much about food and so many things about food and the different ways to cook it and what's right and what's wrong and how this should taste and how that should taste, or how do you prepare this or how you prepare that. When you have that amount of experience with it and everything like that, it's like a completely, it's so, there's so much more depth to it. There's so many little pieces to pick up on. Kind of like the movie
Gordon
making.
Ramsay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Gordon Ramsay, he could be a comedian too. That dude's funny.
Yeah, no, he's both, but at the same time, as like the chef that he is, he's incredible. I mean, being that good at something doesn't give you the right to be a prick to other people. But putting that aside, you can't deny the man's level of skill in this particular aspect. You know what I mean? It's like if you want a good chef in your kitchen, you can't go wrong with Gordon Ramsay.
But I just think he's so funny though, because his brand, hell. Like
Yeah.
Kitchen from Hell, Hotel Hell, all this bullshit with hell. Like, it's just so funny.
I think the one scene I see, he put 2 slices of bread on somebody's head, and he goes, "What
Oh,
are
yeah.
you? An idiot sandwich?"
Idiot sandwich. And
I
it's
was like,
never on the
oh.
menu.
That's like when someone brings up Gordon Ramsay, that's what I think of. That scene where he puts the bread over the people's head, and he calls them an idiot sandwich.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, any aspect when you have that level, that amount of experience, that amount of skill is just absolutely like, it's not something to really ignore at. It's a whole other ball game, and this even goes to video games. I mean, video games are becoming more expected now and more expected, as well as not just expected, but also like accepted. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. So I think at some point, depending on which direction things go, I think that there are people out there that eventually, maybe at some point, gamers are going to receive like some of the deserve that they have, because I mean, there's still a lot of common misconceptions about a lot of gamers. I mean, some of them are right and justified, but at the same time, there's some really talented and skilled people out there. Like,
Absolutely.
in the world of gaming.
Tell you what, if there was one game that should be made where there was never a Crow video game, was there?
A what?
The Crow, you remember the movie The Crow?
Oh,
I
yeah.
do not know if there was or there wasn't. I would like to think that there was,
I
but at the same
don't
time, I don't know.
I don't recall a video game ever being made about for that game.
No. I think after that movie came out, after Brandon Lee passed away, there wasn't a lot of like commercialization after that.
Uh,
Yeah.
I would have loved to see how a video game would be if everyone was ever made.
Yeah, because the crow could be like a secondary character or like a guide or something. Like, yeah,
I
that
know I know they're remaking the first one. Did you hear about that?
No.
I heard about that with Jason Momoa. Yeah.
Oh, Jason Momoa
No,
is
it's
supposed to play him?
no, they got Bill Skarsgård.
Oh, okay.
The guy that was
Jason
it?
Jason Momoa backed out.
Okay.
And they got Bill Skarsgård, the dude that played Pennywise.
You guys keep talking.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use the bathroom. You guys keep talking.
yeah, he's got those eyes. That could work. Yeah.
Yeah, they got Bill Skarsgård to come out. I think it's still filming, and
Okay.
it's definitely a remake because Bill Skarsgård is playing what was Brandon Lee's name in the movie?
Eric Draven.
Eric Draven. Yeah, he's playing because in the cast they got him down as Eric Draven. So I guess they're remaking the first movie.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I wonder
Uh,
I hope that there's no curse or anything.
I hope not either. But I was just wondering, like the other day, they never made a video game about that movie, The Crow.
No, they didn't. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I
that
love
would be a
I
real
love
good
that
idea.
movie. I love that movie so much. I love Brandon Lee so much. He was
I
an
remember,
incredible.
I was sad after I heard about him dying when I was younger.
I
I
know.
think
It
that
was
movie came out 1994. I was 12 years old.
I know. My
And
mom took me to see that movie because it was rated R. So yeah.
uh, the first movie I ever went to the theaters for was Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Aw,
That
love
was the first ever movie I watched in the movie theaters.
awesome.
Uh,
Mhm.
uh,
Love the
yeah.
classic. Yeah. Oh man.
Uh, you bring
But
up the
yeah,
crow to this movie, and most little kids don't know what the hell it is. They're like, "Huh? What's the crow?"
oh my God. I used to watch it every Halloween or the day before Halloween because it's set on Devil's Night. And most people nowadays are like, "What's Devil's Night?" But, it used to be a big deal. Like if you lived in a big city, I lived in Queens, so it was like, you have to stay home. I don't know.
Crazy Devil's Night would be in Queens.
Well, no, it wouldn't be in Queens, but it would be, like probably more like people getting into trouble. I don't know.
Oh,
It was
definitely.
just,
I used to run around egging people's house on Devil's Night when I was younger.
yeah, I don't know. My
Uh,
parents kind of were more protective, I guess, because I went to like a Catholic school and all this bullshit. Yeah.
oh, Catholic school.
Oh my God, these people. Yeah. They produce like the worst kind of kids, honestly. But yeah.
What Catholic schools?
Oh yeah, for real. Like, well, especially like, because I went to an all girls school, they're all lesbians. And yeah, so it was just like, this kind of backfired. uh,
You were surrounded by lesbians.
Pretty much, yeah. I was the only one I knew that had a boyfriend because he was in the next town over and I met him at the mall. So
They
he
probably
went
gave you all
to,
kinds of weird looks.
yeah, exactly.
It was like, oh, yucky boy.
Exactly, yeah. No, for real, because like all the popular girls were the girls the lesbians who had girlfriends. Because if you think about it, in high school, all your relationships are, or your popularity is built on your relationships with other people in the school. And I didn't have relationships with people in the school. So, I was like the outcast because I had a boyfriend.
You were a traitor to them in their eyes.
Pretty
It's like,
much.
"Ew, yucky boy."
But then when I was when I was in my sophomore year of high school, I racked up too much detention because I was tardy. I was late to class too many times in the morning because I couldn't get up in the morning because I had a part-time job in the afternoons at a bakery, and then I had all this stupid homework. So I wouldn't get to sleep until late, and then I would be late in the morning, and then I would get all this detention. Well, anyway, I got so much detention where it was like physically impossible for me to serve it. So they just like very nicely asked me not to come back one year. And I ended up going to public school for the last 2 years of high school. So that was fun.
Yeah, I had a couple lesbians in my life, and every time they tell me they're lesbian, I'm like, yeah, I am too. I like girls.
Yeah, I know, right? You should ask them if they went to Catholic school.
Yeah, I used to mess with them. I'm like, yeah, I like girls too. Does that make me a lesbian? Yes.
I love this.
They'd be like, but you're a boy, and I was like, shh, don't tell everybody.
I know,
And I
it's
was like,
stupid.
damn.
That's funny.
Then I'll just break it to them. I'm like, I'm just messing with you. Don't worry about me.
That's funny.
Ah,
Um, yeah.
uh,
Well, those are the days. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah,
mhm.
Skarsgård. I can get behind Skarsgård being the Crow.
Well, yeah, definitely. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. I was thinking about because my local tattoo artist, he was looking for some retro sort of subject matter. And I was thinking about approaching him with this idea. I have um some fake tattoos that I bought when I was younger of Brandon Lee and the Crow. The motif where he burns the crow symbol into the gasoline, that scene. And I was really thinking about maybe inspiring that as a tattoo, but I don't know.
Bonfire?
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be badass.
that would be really interesting.
Uh, I have one tattoo and I can't get any more.
Oh,
Yeah,
why?
you ever heard of a skin disorder called psoriasis?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I got one tattoo and that was my last tattoo. That's when I found out I had psoriasis.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the next day I woke up and there was skin growing over my tattoo.
Oh, interesting.
Uh, yeah, so psoriasis and that was my last tattoo.
Mm. See,
Uh,
the last tattoo that I got was I had like a reaction to the ink because I've had other tattoos and they've been fine, but this one tattoo artist, I just had a bad reaction to I had a lot of fallout. So, I don't know. I should get it retouched, but I've just been putting it off.
my tattoos, they hurt.
Yeah,
Depend,
they hurt.
depending where you get them. Like, no offense to you, but every girl I met, they always get them in the most painful places, like
Well,
the neck, the ribs, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, I couldn't
Well,
imagine how bad that would hurt in the ribs.
see, I also I practice stick and poke tattoo myself, and I've tattooed myself numerous times. So I guess I'm desensitized. Like it feels like a massage, honestly. It doesn't feel like it feels good. And I go
Must
to like
be,
a
you must be really
meditative
used to it.
I'm just like I go to like a meditative place in my mind and it doesn't really bother me to get tattooed anymore. If I
Ah,
if I get a
that's
big piece, it does like itch after like an hour, but it's just like uncomfortable. It doesn't like hurt.
well, I got it up on my upper right arm, and I was falling asleep during it.
Yeah, some people do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I was getting tattooed. I'm like, this is nothing. I'm like, I'm falling asleep. Like, oh, it does. It feels like a scratch, like a
Yeah.
hot scratch. That's all it felt like a hot scratch.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
And like the only time I felt somewhat of little pain was when they did the back of my arm, when they were coloring it in, doing the color.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah, but
a good place too.
besides that, it was a walk in the park.
Yeah. 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 I have different areas. I have my back. I have um like up on my ribs like where my bra falls. I have on my sternum and like my upper thighs.
Okay.
And I think that's it. Yeah. So they're not like that painful. They're good like they're you know places where it's pretty easy,
One
accessible.
person. I remember right
Yeah.
before I got my tattoo done, the person before me was getting a tattoo directly in their armpit,
Ugh. Oh God.
and it was a spider web.
Oh, I thought you were
They
gonna
did it.
say pussy or something. Oh my God.
No, no, they did a spider web, and in the middle, it was a football related tattoo. They did the Steelers emblem in the middle of the web.
Um. Okay.
No, but I have seen pussy tattoos before,
Yeah, I know
uh,
too.
and it was on dudes and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I would never get a pussy tattooed on me. I'm like that. Yeah, I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, I made fun of the dude. I remember I was this back when I was a drinker. I made fun of him. I'm like, oh, you got a pussy tattoo on you.
I know, it's just the weirdest. Like,
I was like, is that your girlfriend's?
I know, like, what's the reference photo?
And
Like,
then I was messing with him so bad. I was like, that's your girlfriend's. I've seen it before. And I never I didn't know who this dude's girlfriend was. I was just messing with him. I was like, that has to be your girlfriend's.
Oh my God. Watch him be
And
like, my
I'm like,
girlfriend died.
he had his girlfriend tatted. He had his girlfriend tatted on him. I was like, so you're somebody's property.
Oh God.
I was like, oh my
Um,
god, man. I'm like, I will never get a girl's tattoo tatted on me. A name. I'll never get a girl's name tatted on me.
yeah,
Well,
I was
like girlfriend related. I got my daughter's name tatted on me.
yeah, I was at a concert once and I saw this guy's back, like this older biker dude, and he had a woman on his back and she had like with boobs, like and everything. I was like, God, so fucking gross. Like,
Dude, I'm like, a lot of guys are perverts. They want boobs and girls' body parts on them so bad.
I know, but it was on his back. It's not like he could like see it. You know what I mean?
I'm like, damn, he got all these dudes doing that. I never seen a girl with a dude's private tatted on them.
Yeah, I have no urge to like put a dick on my arm. Like,
Yeah. If you, I mean, hey, to each their own, right?
I know, but you know what I mean? Like,
Uh,
I don't
uh,
know. I don't need to see it all the time.
like, why would you want to do? Not yeah, every woman's dream was is having a dude's appendage on their face. I guess.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, people in Pittsburgh, man, they got some weird they got some weird stuff. I seen some weird tattoos. I think the weirdest tattoo I've seen was a chick, right? She's a Predator fan. And like she told me straight up, you know how the Predator's face looks like you know what?
Oh my gosh.
And
Nah.
she had it tattooed down there.
Oh my.
Oh.
Like instead of the Predator's mouth, she had the mandibles and everything. It was tatted around her private area. And I was like, get the hell out of here. I don't believe you. And she straight up showed me. And I was like, oh my God. I'm looking at it like this is disgusting. Like it was the mandibles and everything, the Predator without the mask. And I was like, oh my God. I was so dumbfounded after I seen it. I was like, I can't believe this happened. I'm highly offended. I'm like, if you're gonna, I'm like, why did you have to show me? I'm like, oh my God, why did I look?
Oh God.
And like, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk away right now. But she really did that. Like, I met some crazy people, and you know what was really weird? She was like willingly like wanted to show me like you're just gonna show it off like that?
Yeah.
Like this girl barely knew me.
Yep.
I was like, oh my God, I haven't this was probably like maybe like 15 years ago this happened.
Oh my God.
And like she was she just freely showed me.
She's just out there in the world giving people PTSD. Like,
Hey, we were at a bar. Like she said, step in the bathroom with me. We went in the men's bathroom,
in the men's bathroom.
and she got in the bathroom. She sat on the toilet and everything. I was like, whoa! Like I was drunk until I seen that. That sobered me up.
Oh man.
Man, that was a crazy experience. Crazy, crazy. But people in Pittsburgh are wild. Uh, yeah, but welcome back, Jack.
Thanks. Had to step in and out a couple times there, but yeah. I wanted to ask you, while I'm on the subject, while I'm thinking about it as I get ready, do you play pool at all?
Like real pool?
Yeah, pool.
Yeah, I play pool. I'm like the only one. Every time I go to the bar, but I don't drink. I'm like the only one at the bar that drinks Pepsi and plays pool.
Okay. Yeah, I've been playing pool like every night for like the past like 12 weeks. Or close to 12 weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because like I'm like everybody's at the bar drunk as hell except for me. I'm the sober one in there. Like they think it's weird that I drink Pepsi and play pool. I'm like I don't drink anymore. I quit. Yeah, but I play pool. I love playing pool.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty soon I'm gonna get ready to leave to go and play.
Nice.
When you playing pool tonight?
Yeah. I've been playing every night.
Well, they got like what time was it down where
Right
you're
now
at?
it's 12:08 a.m. and it's 15 minutes away, so I'm gonna try to be there around 12:30, 12:40.
Okay.
They close at 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I play pool, but I try. Well, I play pool. I'm not good at it, but I still try.
Hey, you don't have to be good at it to enjoy it. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to, you don't have to be good at everything to enjoy it. I mean, it kind of, even video games. I mean, most people that play games, are not really good at them, but they still enjoy them, and they even go as far as probably buy microtransactions as well. So,
Yeah, that's how you get good at games. You play, you get all the microtransactions, so you get all the advantages.
oh, well, not all
Mm.
microtransactions have advantages.
Yeah, like last night, my daughter's PS5 controller suddenly just died and never came back on.
Oh,
Yeah, how about that? Like PlayStation controllers are always crappy.
that sucks.
Like that, like shit, like they died and they wouldn't turn back on. I'm connecting them with the chargers, they weren't turning back on.
Hmm.
Which controllers was it?
Uh,
Which controllers?
PS5.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, but like she has two PS5 controllers. They both died back to back.
That's
Like they died instantly. Like they not turning back on.
that's ridiculous. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and like I was joking with her. She was like all sad. I was like, "That's why you should have got an Xbox."
Mm.
It's
I'm
funny.
like, I had my.
It's funny. I've got a
I keep.
PS. I got a PS5 controller that I use for the Xbox Series X. And I use the Brook Super Converter so I can be able to use it. And my PlayStation controllers are fine. So you know what that tells me? It could be the system, not the controller.
Something. And like I was joking with her so I could get her to laugh because she was all sad. I was like, "That's why you should have got an Xbox."
No,
That's
Uh,
I'm sorry.
I
And those
didn't think that was funny.
I got my Xbox One. I still got the stock controller the system came with, that the controller came with, and it still works fine to this day. The Xbox controllers, they're definitely superior and uh the life of the controller.
yeah, they got pretty good longevity.
PlayStation, my PlayStation 4. I probably went through about 15 controllers.
Shit, I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez.
Uh, Something about the Sony PlayStation controller that's just they just and like I'm super careful with them. Like I don't press the buttons hard. Like I don't drop them. And like they just went. I was like, oh my god, I'm done with this. That's another reason why I jumped to Xbox.
Yeah. That and Game Pass. I think Game Pass is probably another good reason to jump to Xbox.
Oh yeah, Game Pass. Yeah. Plus, I like the look of the Xbox Series X better than PS5.
Yeah, it's a nice looking machine, and it's actually heavier than what it seems. It's a heavy boy. And
Oh
light.
yeah, definitely. When I got my Series X and I picked it up, I was like, oh my god, this is like picking up a weight.
Wow.
That system was pretty heavy.
Yeah. No, absolutely. There's there's definitely a lot that the Series X could handle. I mean, they're only right now all they're missing is really exclusives, but everything else is pretty damn solid. But at the same time, there's also like it also depends what every individual is for. But I think in the long run, I think Microsoft is doing the right thing. It's just going to take them longer in order to get to where they need to go. And the problem is there's a few games that have also been shown as a bad example, like Halo Infinite. The last thing Microsoft wants right now is another Halo Infinite problem. I mean, granted,
Can't
the
believe
game
they
is
put that on Game Pass. I can't believe they put the game on Game Pass.
why? I mean, well, it's free. I mean, you don't
just
even
like
have to have Game Pass.
I was just surprised that it was on Game Pass. I was like, I didn't see that as a bad thing.
Yeah.
But on PS5, the only exclusive that I would want on PS5 is God of War.
All right. So if Xbox can give one of their exclusives to Sony to play as well, and if Sony could give one of their exclusives to Xbox to play as well, which exclusives would you want?
That's a tough one.
I know, right?
That's a tough one. Of course, you can always go with the God of War. What exclusive would I want on PlayStation? But I want on PlayStation to Xbox. Definitely not Last of Us. I would definitely not pick Last of Us.
Okay, so you don't think Last of Us is has got that kind of power?
After part two, after playing Last of Us Part Two, I never want to play a Last of Us game again.
Okay.
Can it be from like a PS4 exclusive
Oh yeah,
that they didn't
it
put on
could be
PS4?
any generation of PlayStation.
Generation. Ooh, that's real tough, man. You really put me on the spot like that. That's tough.
Well, there's no if you think about it, there's no wrong answer.
Oh, of
I
course
mean,
I can always go with the automatic yes, and I can just say Gears of War, not Gears of War, God of War.
you know
It,
the thing about God of War is they have a hell of a studio that's working on that game. I mean, Sony Santa
it,
Monica are amazing, great
I would
developers.
if they were gonna make a part two of Days Gone, that's what I would pick. Days Gone.
I'm not that familiar with it, but aren't they already doing that, or am I wrong about it?
No, they canceled Days Gone Part Two.
Really?
Yeah, from what I heard, they canceled it and not bringing it. They're not doing a part two. But if they were going to do a part two of that, I would have said I want to get Days Gone because that the first Days Gone was just such that was a good game. Like how you can it was so action packed. That's what I liked about it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because in that game you fought there was a part of the game where you just fought nothing but hordes of zombies. And hordes of zombies can have up to 200 zombies chasing you.
Okay. How about
And
okay?
you can set booby traps for them. Like before they see you, you can go around the map and place booby traps and bombs. Like have it all have like a strategy how you're gonna take them all out.
Hmm.
And
Now,
then when you feel like you set up all the traps and stuff, you get their attention. They start chasing you, and you just run where your traps you set the traps at so you can start picking them off. Like
now,
it was a pretty cool game. When they said they weren't making a part two, that's what made me decide not to buy a PS5. Like I was actually gonna buy a PlayStation just for that game.
okay. Um,
Uh,
if you would like a game to be that's currently being worked on by a certain developer and replace that developer with another developer, what developer and what game would that be?
can it be any game,
No, I mean
or
like
does
okay,
it?
let's say there's a developer that's working on a good game, like a good overall game IP or whatever, but the developers suck. You know, who would you like which other developer would you replace that developer with? Like okay, like let's say you don't like 343 with Halo, right? Who would you
Yes,
which developer would you get to replace 343 to work on Halo?
I would want Bungie back. When it came to Halo, I would want Bungie back.
Well,
But if I had to
they're
pick,
working on
what?
Destiny though.
But if I had to pick a developer like to make Halo, if I had to pick a developer to make Halo, I would probably want the. Ooh, I would probably want um, Rockstar. We'd never seen Rockstar make a first person shooter like Call of Duty or nothing, right?
That's actually very interesting. But the
Like
thing,
Rockstar never made a game like a Call of Duty type of game.
right?
I would probably want, what, I would probably want the same people that made Titanfall to make the Halo.
Oh, that now that's interesting.
I forgot the name, Respawn. I would want Respawn.
Respawn did a great job.
Yeah, I would want Respawn. I would pick Respawn to make a Halo game instead of if I had to replace them 343 with somebody. I'll pick Respawn.
That's interesting. That
And the
didn't,
one and the one exclusive I would want on Xbox is Uncharted.
okay.
Definitely Uncharted or Infamous.
I remember Infamous.
Like that would be my if I had to pick off PlayStation, Infamous or Uncharted.
I remember Infamous.
Infamous, that was a real good game. Uh,
Yeah. Well, it is 20 after 12, so I think I'm going to call it. I mean, we've been going at it for 2 hours and 40 minutes. So, um, and it is Sunday, and I know Laura usually goes to bed somewhere around this time.
Yeah.
And it is Sunday,
you got
so
asked to you got asked to kick and pull.
well, I usually just play by myself. I just really am enjoying I'm enjoying being able to hit the balls more efficiently and to get a feel of where it's going to go and all that stuff. I mean, I've actually been asked to play with other people and I just respectfully decline because I just unless it's like a pretty girl or something like that you're watching and you're admiring, I just get boring to just wait my turn. I'd rather just have my earbuds in and along with my phone and whatever I'm listening to and just playing the game, play for anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours and then call it a night. Sometimes I'll come back and I'll record a commentary for the movie com. And I actually posted my latest one this like really late last night. So I think that's part of the reason why the views are so low because of when I put it up. But but yeah, I mean, this is usually when I record those. Like if I can't sleep or whatever, it's like, hey, let's record a com, a movie com, or let's do a little bit more of Harry Potter or something like that. So, but yeah, that's basically all it is, really. But yeah, overall, it was a good stream. I like to thank you guys for joining me. It's always like again, it makes everything that much better and that much more fun. And then every single week, there's always something new to talk about, whether it's in movies or games, because there's always some sort of news going on. There's always some announcement or some sort of reveal. So the content is nearly endless, and when you have 3 people talking about it's great. And I'm going to see if I can get Six Shot on here. I'm going to see if I can get Hammer on here.
This is the type of year where a lot of games get announced, right?
Yeah, especially since we're getting closer to E3. That's what we were talking about last cast yesterday. We were talking about E3 and the showcases and stuff like that, and possibility of games getting released and stuff like that. We could definitely pick up on that next week as well on Friday. So we can certainly pick up on that. I would love to do that. So because again, there's more that's going to be leaked and revealed and rumored as we get closer to that time of year where these things get announced the way they get announced, because ultimately it's part of how things are. The sooner you get to an event, the more leaks and rumors and all that other stuff start to come out, and that is when you start to see the most content. That's when you start to see the most speculation. That's when you start to see the wheels turning, and then when the events happen, you start to wonder whether or not you were right. You start to wonder whether or not there was something you missed. So, and it's really interesting when you see some of these people like leak some stuff. You get to see whether it's true or not. And if it's true, it's like, okay, this I could to a certain degree trust this person. And then at the same time, it's like maybe I can't. At this point right now, I'm just happy as hell to be able to notice what's going on, so that way I can continue to speculate and just get on this podcast and talk with you guys about it. So that's what I like. And obviously when we get people in the chat, it's even better. So yeah, so it just happens to be Sunday. It's like the slowest day of the week in terms of content and all that shit. So, but yeah, we can definitely pick it up next Friday.
Sundays are definitely the worst because there's no football on.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
That too. You ask any football fan, that too. So, with that being said, I'll let you guys go. You guys got to go to bed or do whatever else that it is that you're doing. And thank you again for joining me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, of course.
I always have a blast on this podcast.
All right, then we're gonna keep on doing it. Then it's the pleasure is all mine, my friend. And yeah, we're gonna pick it up next Friday. It's either gonna be around. It's gonna be anywhere from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time, which is my time, which is when I get out of work. And again, if you're late or whatever else is going on, no big deal. I mean, you can just pop in whenever. It's all good. I completely understand. We all have a life and all that stuff, but that's generally when I start, and it all kind of goes on my schedule. If I'm able to get out of work earlier, like I was today, I'll start around 9:30ish or so. If it's later, then it goes a little bit later. So the good news is it's the weekend, so there's always time. So all right.
All right.
So
You go have fun in Pole, man.
thank you. I appreciate it, man. You get some rest. I hope you have a good week ahead of you. I hope the week goes smoothly. And yeah, Laura, I'll talk to you as well. And you guys be good. Enjoy your night.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Take care, guys.